Kernels baseball? The Class A affiliate of the world champion Anaheim Angels plays right here on The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. Now, in his 8th season bringing you the fun of Cedar Rapids baseball, here's the voice of the Kernels. He's the one, the only, John Rogers, here on The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
Cedar Rapids Kernels, let the good times roll.
Back-to-back beautiful evenings for baseball as the Kernel 8-game series with the Burlington Bees marches forward back to the new Veterans Memorial Stadium this evening. The Kernels had 14 hits last night, but in a slugfest fell 3 runs short, 11-8 at Community Field in Burlington. The Bees are red hot. They've won 6 of 7, and we'll try to solve them tonight before a big crowd expected for the famous San Diego Chicken. Quan Cosby has really come alive recently in the field at the plate, and he's become the leadoff batter for the time being for the Kernels, and we'll check in with Quan Cosby next on the Dugout Interview.
You know how it is to have a good friend, someone who stands by you during good times as well as the bad. That's the kind of friend Dave Tobiasen at Family Insurance Center can be. Dave Tobiasen is your Pekin insurance agent in Monticello. Whatever your insurance needs, you can depend on Dave Tobiasen. Dave will settle your claims as quickly and conveniently as possible. See Dave Tobiasen, your Pekin insurance agent at Family Insurance Center in Monticello, for insurance coverages at competitive rates.
Toyota takes another leap forward in material handling efficiency. Hot Toyota Lift would like to introduce you to the new Toyota AC electric forklift. AC technology provides unprecedented acceleration, dramatically increasing operator cycle times, thus increasing production. And because DC components are no longer needed, you will significantly lower your maintenance costs. A clean, running, dependable unit is the result. Coupled with today's attractive interest rates, there's never been a better time to join Toyota's AC revolution. Contact Hub Toyota Lift in Cedar Rapids, Peoria, Des Moines, and Davenport.
Quan Cosby, the last time we talked to you, you said, Jack, I'm hitting the ball pretty well, but hitting them right at them. And here you are in the last 2.5 weeks, really looking confident and comfortable at the plate, putting the ball in play, hitting well from both sides of the plate. What do you attribute your recent success to, Quan?
Just like you said, getting pretty comfortable, the atmosphere with the team and so forth, and not too much really doing anything different from before, but they're falling now. They say if you continue to hit it hard, it'll begin to fall, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Well, that's right, and I know I said on the broadcast last night things didn't go our way. We had a few bad breaks again, and that's going to happen when you're in a little bit of a tailspin like we are. The one thing I said on the air is this club keeps working hard every day and coming out and working at the things that we need to do, both individually and as a team, to turn it around. And Quan, I know it's got to be a little bit frustrating, but at the same time, at least the guys can look themselves in the heart and say we're doing everything we can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we scored 8 runs last night, believe it or not, and still came, in the L column. But we just got to continue to work hard, and you're not just going to come out of anything like this. You got to work yourself out of it, and we're just going to continue to keep that mind frame and continue to work hard and try to get out of it.
I know you were quoted in the paper after Todd had the guys stay out on the field after Sunday's loss. You were quoted as saying that doesn't bother you or your teammates a bit, that you're glad you have a manager who cares that much, and that you guys care as much as Todd, and that sometimes just doing little things like that after a game, win or lose, staying out on the field with your uniforms on, sometimes that can start to try to bring you guys even closer together. And I don't sense that the guys are not close, Quan. I just sense that every little mistake we make seems to be magnified, and that's what happens when you're in a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the little things, one error may account to 5 runs in an inning. It's just crazy like that. And on the other half, we get an error, and it'll turn into a double play. So, I mean, it's just, like you said, we're going through a little funk right now, and whatever it takes, we're going to continue to work hard. And like the other night, I mean, there was just something extra showing that we're going to continue to work hard and try to work out of it.
And I know the game has to remain fun. It's not as much fun when we have those in the L column, as you mentioned, but you have to keep positive. And the bottom line is, I think Roy Campanella said it, to play professional baseball, you have to be a man, but you better have a ton of little boy in you. And we can't lose perspective of having fun as well, Quan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, it's never if you're an athlete and you're a competitive athlete, it's never fun to lose. But you still have to keep a good sense of humor and a sense of things to know that you're working hard and you're trying to get out of it. If not, it'll be miserable and things probably won't ever change. So you have to keep that good mind frame and so forth so that when you come out of it, things will flow.
Quan, I know that Todd has used you in the leadoff spot a couple of times. He's used you number 2, and he's put you 8th and 9th this spring. First question, where did you feel most comfortable last year when you hit over 300 in Provo? Where did you bat? Did you float around the order like Todd's used you?
No, not really. Last year in Provo, I was pretty much the number 1 guy. I was the leadoff guy, and our middle infielders, they were 2 and 3 and so forth. So it's not necessarily where you are, because after the first inning, anybody could be a leadoff hitter, anybody can be 1 or 2. You just have to take care of business and do your job wherever you are.
One thing you're blessed with is the ability, if you hit the ball on the ground, you have a chance every time, Quan, and you've had a number of infield hits recently. And I wanted to relay a story to you about Ozzie Smith, the Hall of Famer, who when I was growing up was a favorite of mine with the Cardinals. And on AstroTurf, Whitey Herzog paid him $1 every time he hit a ball on the ground, and Ozzie would have to pay Whitey $1 every time he hit one in the air. And it wasn't to discourage Ozzie from hitting line drives. It was to make sure he knew the value of his speed. Do you sense that when you hit the ball, do you ever try to hit it on the ground, or at this point in your career, is it still just trying to hit the ball hard somewhere?
Well, yeah, exactly. I have speed, so my game is to hit a line drive. But if I miss it, which is very, very capable, I'd rather miss it on the ground. So, the fly balls and pop-ups, exactly. I should have to give somebody $1 if that happens. So I try to hit it hard, a line drive, and, if I miss, let it be on the ground because, like you said, I always have a chance when it's there.
One thing I've said that I hope the club can do, and I say hope because we are a very young club and you guys are learning every day, I'm hoping as the season progresses that we might bunt a little bit more, steal a few more bases, and walk a little bit more. Now, those are 3 tall orders because all of you guys have different strengths, and Todd has the overall philosophy of the team in mind. Do you think, Quan, that this ball club, and I'm speaking specifically of you, BJ, Alberto, and Eric, 4 guys that put the ball in play, that are blessed with good speed, that are all 4 switch hitters, do you think of those 3 aspects, bunting, running on the bases, and drawing walks, are those areas that you think we can improve on, or do you think those are things that will come later in your careers?
No, you definitely. You want to maximize your game ASAP. So we're just going to continue to work, and we talk about those things and so forth in our workouts. And when the time comes, lately as a team, we've definitely got a few more walks because at first we were kind of struggling with strikeouts, but as a team, we've definitely got a few more walks, and when the situation is right, we're going to try to take bases, so everybody has the green light. So, yeah, definitely, we just, like you said, things just haven't been working out lately, and we've been down too many to even try to run. So
exactly.
It hasn't even been worth it because that run means nothing. So when the time is right and so forth, you're exactly right. We'll continue to try to take bases, bunt, steal, and all the little things.
We're going to take a break and wrap things up with Kernels switch-hitting center fielder Quan Cosby on the dugout interview before tonight's 4th game of our 8-game series with Burlington. A final word with Quan when we return.
The new Veterans Memorial Stadium is among the most awe-inspiring attractions in our great community. The most common remark made by first-time visitors to our new ballpark is simply, wow! The dazzling giant scoreboard, the roomy seats, the spacious concourse, and yes, the numerous women's restrooms all evoke that wow reaction. The most alluring element of all, though, is that perfectly nurtured, lush, green field that composes the diamond. Thanks to Peck's Flower Garden and Landscaping, the aura and magic of the Field of Green in the new stadium can be replicated in your very own yard. That's right. The experts at Peck's are teaming up with the renowned Kernel Grounds crew to award one of you with a Field of Green lawn makeover this spring. Just stop into the Garden Center at Peck's to enter. The Peck's Field of Green dream could be yours. Register this spring in the Garden Center at Peck's, corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Roads Northeast.
Quan Cosby, I promised we'd talk just a little bit of football because you're wearing a Michael Vick jersey and your twin brother plays at Baylor, and we saw the movie Remember the Titans recently, and I read the book Friday Night Lights. It came out about 10 years ago. Some people were critical of it because it pointed out how much high school football is ingrained into the culture of most towns and cities in Texas, yet it also can be a healthy thing, can it, Quan?
Oh, definitely, because even with our sport now in baseball, you have to come together no matter what. Even like in the movie Remember the Titans, I was watching that, and then I saw a thing on ESPN where they said they come together. It's all about, uniting as a team, and because you need every single person on that team to contribute to wins. So, the Friday Night Lights, it was a real cool thing, and a very true thing, because in small towns, big towns, fans, they come out for Texas high school football. So it was a pretty cool ordeal.
Well, Quan, I remember Keith Comstock last year saying when the club had a 9-game losing streak, he said, "John, we appreciate you not dissing us on the air." And I said, "Comedy, I don't know what dissing means," but then he explained it meant kind of ragging or being too critical. And I want to tell you guys that these fans in Cedar Rapids are great people. They're going to be patient, kind, and caring. They know how humbling a game this is of baseball, and they know it's full of ebbs and tides and ups and downs. And we're going to stick with you guys because we know what great people you are, and it all starts with what kind of person you are before it even hits the field. So you guys keep after it, keep your chins up, and realize that there are a lot of people, everyone's rooting for you guys to succeed, and just, stay the course, Quan.
Exactly, and of course, we don't get a lot of opportunities, but right now it's on behalf of the team. I want to thank the fans and so forth because, believe it or not, we notice it on the field and so forth. They don't rag us a lot, no matter what happens. Of course, few people voice their opinion, but, that's the human nature. So we want to thank them and tell them to continue to come out and support us.
Well, they will, and we will, Quan. Thanks so much. We're going to be home both now and after the All-Star break, and we want you to treat yourself to a $5 meal at any of our Zio Giano's Italian spaghetti houses. So much good for so little money at Zio Giano's. Colonel Outfielder Quan Cosby, thank you so much. I learned a lot from this dugout interview, and I know our fans really appreciated it.
All right, thank you.
Quan Cosby, our dugout interview guest. Scott Unash is here this evening. He and I will have this evening's starting lineups, Kernels and Burlington, in a minute.
What can I help you with here at Big Time Motors?
Well, I'm looking for a used car. I like this one. What's the price?
Listen, lady, I don't sell prices. I sell cars. But I guess if you must know, it's this.
Wow. That's $2,000 more than the one low price on the exact same car at Randy Keel Honda. And I didn't even have to ask them. Randy Keel has the prices posted for every car in their lot.
Well, we've got the best service department to stand behind our vehicles.
Really? Randy Keel showed me they're #1 in service and sales customer satisfaction. How do you know yours is the best?
My manager told me.
Thanks, but I think I'm going back to Randy Keel Honda to get the best price and the best service.
But I can throw in a free air freshener to put over the rearview mirror.
Nice try.
Randy Keel Honda understands what you need when you're looking for a new or used car. They post their prices clearly, so you don't have to guess, and they'll never pressure you. That's why they're #1 in service and sales customer satisfaction. And they just won the President's Award from American Honda. Come find out for yourself. Randy Keel Honda is on Center Point Road in Cedar Rapids, or you can visit them at randykeel.com.
With the one and only and the famous San Diego Chicken entertaining tonight. It's a beautiful night, the best night we've had for baseball during the first half of the season, piggybacking on last night's beautiful evening down in southeastern Iowa. And the Kernels hope to right the ship. We've lost 5 games in a row. The Bees have had their way with us, beating us 17-4, 6-3, and then last night at Community Field 11-8. And let's hope this evening the Kernels can put all aspects of their game together. That's what's been so frustrating, is we'll get one piece of the puzzle in place and then another will fall apart, and the Kernels need to try to function on all cylinders here tonight to break the 5-game losing skid against a red-hot Burlington team. The Bees have won 6 of 7, and they've scored 60 runs in their last 5 games. Let's set the starting lineups for the 4th game of this 8-game series between the Kernels and the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. The Bees are 27-36, and they're only a game and a half back of Quad City and the Kernels now in the first half Western Division standings. Leading off for Burlington, he scored 10 runs in this series. He leads the league in runs scored and has 18 steals. Mel Stocker, a switch-hitting center fielder from Arizona State. Matt Tupman, a left-handed hitting catcher, will bat second for the Bees. Hitting third is Donnie Murphy, third in the league in RBIs, yet not a Midwest League All-Star. Donnie Murphy at second base bats third. The cleanup batter, a former Cincinnati Red farmhand, fourth in the league with 40 RBIs, Damaso Espino. Hitting fifth is the Hawaiian, the designated hitter, Kila Ka'aihui bats fifth, the DH. In left field, it's Tim Friend. He'll hit sixth. Batting seventh for Burlington, Angel Sanchez. He hit his first home run of the year last night to break a 4-4 tie in the fourth inning. Sanchez at short, batting seventh. Hitting eighth, Dave Jensen, a left-handed batter. He's at first base. And batting ninth for Burlington in right field, Bernard Stevens. On the hill for the Bees, a first-round pick of the Kansas City Royals, ninth overall pick in 2001, a flamethrower from Texas, Colt Griffin. Colt is 6'4", 200 pounds. He's been plagued by wildness and inconsistency, and this is his third year of pro ball. Colt is 1-2, lost 6, an ERA of 4.26. He's thrown 14 wild pitches in 12 starts and hit 9 batters. Colt Griffin trying to harness some of that natural ability here this evening. Well, that's the Burlington Bees starting lineup. Allen Motor Company is proud to bring us the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. We've been touting the last 2 weeks a fabulous event at Allen Motor Company, their Centennial Celebration Sale, and an offer you just can't beat during Allen's Centennial Celebration Sale as they celebrate 100 years of business in eastern Iowa. Your first year's maintenance absolutely free when you buy a new vehicle now during Allen's Centennial Celebration Sale. Allen's is celebrating 100 years of business in our community by offering you your first year's maintenance absolutely free when you buy a new vehicle during their Centennial Celebration Sale. Allen Motor Company, I-380 and Boyston Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha, or online at allenmotor, ALLENMOTOR.com. With the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, here's KCRG's program and sports director, Scott Unash.
Good to be back, John. It's been a while. You've been on the road for 2 weeks plus, so we haven't had a chance to join you here in the booth, but it's good to be back.
Well, thanks for being with us, Scott.
John's interview guest on the dugout interview, Quan Cosby, will lead things off for the Kernels, and Quan will be in center field. B.J. Weed, an all-star for the Western Division in the Midwest League, will bat second, and B.J. will be at second base tonight. Alberto Cayaspo will get the start at shortstop. Alberto hitting .328, first in the Midwest League in hits. He'll be batting third at short. Greg Porter will be the right fielder. John Campbell had a nice piece on Greg tonight on the news. And the former Texas A&M Aggie football player will be the cleanup man in right field. Caleb Mayer will be in left field, and Caleb will bat fifth. Another all-star will bat sixth and do the catching, Jared Abruzzo. Alex Dvorsky swinging a hot bat as of late. Probably the hottest Kernel is the designated hitter. Alex will hit seventh. It'll be Jake Mathis at first base hitting eighth, and at third base hitting ninth is Matt Brown. And on the mound for the Kernels is 19-year-old Ronnie Ray. Ronnie's pitched very well this year. Has pitched in some bad luck and some tough times. 1-3 record, but with a very good ERA at 3.47. So that is the lineup for the Kernels here tonight on just a picture postcard evening here at the ballpark.
Oh, Scott, thanks so much for setting those Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineups. You mentioned Alex Dvorsky. He's the designated hitter, batting seventh in the Allen Motor Company order. He indeed is hot. He's 13 for his last 36. That's a .361 clip. Quan Cosby is hitting .348 in his last 46 at-bats, and boy, it's been so frustrating because the Kernels had 14 hits last night, and the one element that's been so strong recently, our pitching let us down, and a couple of wild pitches cost us runs, and man, it just seems like when you're in a tailspin like we've been in, that every little mistake you make is magnified and costs you 10 times what it should when you're going reasonably well, and the Bees are red hot. They have shown that the Royals have given them a good team, and they started 0-7 and 4-20, but since then they've gone a remarkable 23-16, and they really are playing as confidently as I've seen a club play this season.
These two teams really mirror each other. The Kernels have not been playing very well as of late. And you can, put that together with a lot of things. However, Kernels have faced some hot competition as of late. And look at Burlington coming in here. They're white hot right now. They've put, 60 runs up in their last 5 games. They're averaging 12 runs a game in just short of the past week.
In their last 5 games, they're averaging 12 a game. You're right, Scott. Well, the Kernels are back here at home where we have a winning record, 17-16. We're in our white home uniforms. We've taken the field. The Bees are in gray road uniforms with royal blue caps, royal blue socks, royal blue spikes. And let's hear a message from Bank Iowa before we honor America with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
We are proud to pay tribute to all our armed services who make great sacrifices in order to preserve the freedoms we enjoy. Please stand and join Bank Iowa and the Kernels as we salute our flag and sing the national anthem.
Performing the national anthem this evening, Marcia Hughes.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You can hear by the crowd's reaction, a big crowd is on hand here this evening to see the Kernels try to beat Burlington for the first time in 4 tries in an 8-game series. We're trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. And best of all, the famous, fabulous, one and only San Diego Chicken will be entertaining this evening. Scott Unash and I look forward to bringing you the action. Our in-studio engineer is Bev Taylor. Kernel Baseball is just ahead on the Zone.
I cannot face anyone but me. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me? Don't tell me wrong from right. I know just what I like. Yeah, hold me crazy, I don't care. Come feel the joy all around each generation. It's time they got their own kind of sounds. Come to shout it out.
Looking for a sure way to bring your daughter or son the thrill of a lifetime? Then visit Taco Bell and register them for a chance to be drawn as a Taco Bell Baseball Buddy. As a Taco Bell Baseball Buddy, your child will receive a Taco Bell Baseball Buddy t-shirt, collect autographs from the Kernels, and take the field with the Kernel player for the national anthem. Being a Taco Bell Baseball Buddy will provide your kid with an unforgettable feeling of excitement. All it takes is a visit to Taco Bell.
You're in the zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Are you ready?
We couldn't ask for a more beautiful evening. We had a great night last night in Burlington. Gave up 3 runs in the first and unfortunately never led in the game. Out hit the Bees 14-13. And this guy leading off has been a main catalyst for Burlington. He leads the league in runs scored. And in the first 3 games of this series, switch hitter Mel Stockton has scored 10 times. He's scored 10 runs in the series, and he's 6 for 11 in the series. He's a switch hitter, .283 average, and he's ready for Ronnie Ray's first delivery. Ball 1, low and away. Behind the plate, Will Robinson calling the balls and strikes. Aaron Banks on the bases. Stocker is the best leadoff man I've seen in the Midwest League. Ball 2, high and outside. It didn't miss by much, and if that's going to be the strike zone this evening, then we're in for a long one. Mel Stocker does exactly what you want from your leadoff batter, Scott. He takes pitches and he gets on base. A strike at the letters. It's 2-1.
Yeah, and I heard on the way home last night you were saying that you think he is the best leadoff man in this league, and that's saying something because there's some good number one hitters.
The 2-1. A base hit into a little looper. I'm sorry. Kayaspo, the shortstop, broke back quickly. Stocker hit it off the end of his bat, and things have been going so well for Mel that I had it etched in as a base hit to left. But there was Alberto Kayaspo playing shortstop, taking 3 quick steps back into the grass in shallow left, and he caught Mel Stocker's little looping liner, and that's a relief to keep that guy off base.
Indeed it is, and just got that off the end of the bat. Didn't get much on it.
It sure fooled me, Scott. Now Matt Tupman steps in. He's murdered us. He takes a strike called. This guy's hitting .232, but against us, he's 4 for 10. Last night he was 3 for 5. He scored twice. He drove in a run. He's hitting .232, 2 homers, 21 RBIs. Matt Tupman, the catcher. Strike 2 called. Scott, it's unusual to see a catcher hitting second, although I believe for a while Craig Biggio, when he was a catcher, hit second.
He hit second. Also Carlton Fisk, back in the Sox glory days, hit second.
Tupman down on strikes, a high fastball, and Ronnie Ray got him on 3 pitches. A late swing on a high heater from Ronnie Ray. And now here comes a guy who should be on the Midwest League Western Division All-Star team, is not. Donnie Murphy hitting .291, 3 homers, 42 RBIs, 9 steals in 9 attempts, and 7 hits in 13 at-bats against us. A chopper to short. We could be out of the inning. The throw by Kayaspo. A 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first. Donnie Murphy bounces out to short, and Ronnie Ray has done something the Kernels have not been able to do against the Bees. He's held the Bees at bay in the first inning. Down in order goes Burlington in the top of the first, and after 1/2 inning, the Bees nothing, and the Kernels coming up.
When we met at Spaghetti, we would never forget the Ojanos. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini. Or try their delicious salads and sub sandwiches too. The Ojanos is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember the Ojanos with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
Over the years, Dad will use Alliant Energy to do lots of things. To turn the lights off 10,000 times. To give 765 bubble baths. To do 3,126 loads of laundry. But most important of all, to cook 152 gourmet meals when Mom works late.
Alliant Energy, we're on for you.
To learn more, call 1-800-ALLIANT.
Tune in each Saturday morning from 9 a.m. until 10 for the KCRG Coaches Corner. It's Eastern Iowa's only year-round coaches show. Join me, Scott Unash, along with Pinky Primrose, as high school coaches from the metro and the area discuss the big games in their teams. That's the KCRG Coaches Corner program, each Saturday morning from 9 until 10, live from Cedar Rapids Pizza and Provisions at 2125 Wiley Boulevard, southwest in Cedar Rapids, only here on your Prep Sports leader, The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG.
19-year-old right-hander Ronnie Ray retired Burlington in order in the top of the first, and the Kernels face Colt Griffin. They faced him last year several times. Colt started 19 games for Burlington, went 6-6, an ERA of over 5. And this season, he's been plagued by inconsistency. He's making his 13th start of the year. The 20-year-old right-hander, a first-round draft pick of Kansas City out of Marshall High in Texas, is set to go as soon as his catcher, Matt Tupman, gives him a few last words of encouragement. Colt Griffin wearing extremely bright-colored royal blue shoes. They almost look, Scott, like they're patent leather.
Almost look like a Dayglow blue. It should be on the side of a NASCAR.
Quan Cosby, our dugout interview guest, hitting .249, 0 for 4 with a walk last night. He's 3 for 12 in the series. A strike at the knees from the right-hander who was purported to have thrown over 100 miles an hour as a high schooler. He turned down offers to go to Grayson Community College and Louisiana Tech. Isn't Louisiana Tech where Terry Bradshaw went, Scott?
He was down in Louisiana.
A little tap to the right side. Griffin picks it up and throws in time. Scott, how in the world did he make that throw without hitting Quan Cosby, the base runner?
And a little bit of an angle, plus the fact that he threw it low and outside. And a pretty good pickup by the first baseman, Dave Jensen. That was a low throw. And he took his time on it, too. Made a very nice play.
Yeah, Quan did what he described on the dugout interview before this game, and that is he kept the ball on the ground, tapped it to the right of the plate, and to the right of the mound, and Colt Griffin sprung off the rubber and made a good play. Here's a shot into center, a base hit for B.J. Weed, 6th in the league in hitting with a .311 average, and B.J. Weed rips a single on the first pitch he sees, straight through the middle, and the Kernels have the first base runner of the evening.
A lot of scouts here tonight, John, and I'm sure they're here to watch Colt Griffin, a former #1 draft choice in the 2001 draft. He was a top 10 pick by the Kansas City Royals, so Royals have had good success in the draft as of late.
I want to ask you about, here's a pitch for a ball outside, just outside to Kayaspo. Alberto had a big night last night, and the Colonel lost in Burlington, 3 for 5. He scored a run, he drove in a run. Kayaspo, a switch hitter batting left, leads the league in hitting. A pitch in the dirt, Weed to second, he's saved. B.J. Weed advances to second on what will be ruled a wild pitch.
B.J. being very aggressive, and John, we talked about it between innings. We got to think hard in the last time the Colonels got a lead in the early going. We've been down Sunday 3-0 first inning. Last night, what, 3-0 first inning?
3-0. Here it's scoreless, and the Colonels could take the lead. The 2-0 to Kayaspo. Low and in, ball 3. Assange Sedlacek, one of the youngsters that the Royals are very high on, I believe was just optioned back to Omaha.
Well, he was designated for assignment, actually, which really surprised a lot of people.
Ball 4 as Colt Griffin could not get a pitch over to Kayaspo. Alberto joins B.J. aboard on a 4-pitch walk. 2 on, 1 out for Greg Porter. Now, what is the distinction? Does that mean that the Royals have left Sedlacek available to be picked up by someone? Or that they're not going to...
It's a situation that you can be when that happens. It's not a waiver situation.
Okay. Scott, I'm going to tell you something in a moment that may surprise you and our listeners as Porter hits one up the middle, almost took the head off of Colt Griffin. They're going to wave B.J. home. He scores! 1-0 Kernels! Greg Porter ripped one so hard it almost undressed Colt Griffin. B.J. Weed scores. Kayaspo stopped at second, and it's 1-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning.
Todd Klaus being very, very aggressive. He never hesitated to send the runner B.J. Weed, who got a real good jump. Mel Stocker never even looked to throw home. He threw that one to the cutoff man, the shortstop Angel Sanchez, and the Kernels lead it 1-0.
Boy, Porter was 0 for 5 last night, but he took that first pitch from Sedlacek and just ripped the cover off of it. A slider, a strike to Caleb Mayer. Caleb belted a grand slam in the top of the 4th last night at Community Field to tie the game at 4. Caleb was 3 for 4. He's a right-handed batter. Swing and a miss on a slider, strike 2. Well, my theory doesn't hold any water, because what I was going to suggest, Scott, is that we send the runners with Porter at the plate, A, to stay out of a double play, B, because Greg was 0 for 5 last night, but no need to send the runners when Porter jumped on that first pitch.
No need to. And just watching Colt Griffin a little bit. His numbers this year, he has struggled just a little bit with Burlington. 2-6 is the .426 ERA.
A swing and a miss by Mayer. A throw to first. You gotta be kidding me. Out at first is Greg Porter. Oh, brother, a double play ends the Kernel first. Scott, we've seen that twice this week where a Kernel runner is picked off first to end an inning by a throw from the catcher. That's unbelievable at this level.
That just can't happen.
And the play goes, a strikeout and then a throw from the catcher, Tupman, to the first baseman. It went 2-3 to end the inning. Wow. In the first inning, 1 run for the Kernels on 2 hits, a walk. No Burlington errors, a wild pitch by the Bees, and the Kernels leave 1 man on. A double play ends the Kernel first inning. And after 1 inning, the Kernels lead Burlington 1-0.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
In the land of what-ifs, there exists a phrase called, what if I had more money? With a Wells Fargo personal loan or line of credit, you can stop all that wondering. You'll not only get the money you need, you'll save more by consolidating your high-interest debt into one affordable monthly payment. And with flexible terms and competitive rates, we'll be sure to meet your individual needs. Talk to a Wells Fargo personal banker and apply today. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
ESPN is your nightly home for everything baseball with Baseball Tonight.
Elton, exit, stage right.
Featuring the day's web gem highlights and monster shot roundup.
Matsui unloaded.
Check out who's hot and who's not as we take you around the league and touch them all. With unparalleled coverage by Peter Gammons and Carl Rabbit.
And double play, third.
An analysis from 3-time Gold Glover Harold Reynolds and former manager Bobby Valentine.
I like what I see.
Play catch-up ball every night with Baseball Tonight. All season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
We haven't seen him yet, but I'm sure we will soon. As Damaso Espino will lead it off, the cleanup batter for the Bees. The Kernels lead it 1-0 after 1 inning. Espino is a right-handed hitting cleanup batter. Ronnie Ray's curve, a knee bender, stays inside. Damaso Espino is 5 for 11 in the series. He had 3 RBIs last night. He's hitting .300. Fastball is a strike called. The Kernels defensively play Espino straight away in the outfield, Mayer in left, Cosby in center, Greg Porter in right. A very tough sun field for Greg Porter in right field. A slider looked good from here, taken for a ball by Espino. No homers, 40 RBIs, 4th best in the league, 4th highest total. He bats from a straightaway stance, a wide stance, and a pronounced bend to the knees. Ball 3 down and in from Ronnie, a fastball.
Well, you think Burlington would like to have a mulligan in April?
Oh, goodness, Scott. They started 0-7 and 4-20, but since then, 23-16. Ball 4, leadoff walk drawn by Damaso Espino here to start the B second inning. The batter is Hawaiian Kila Ka'ahui.
That's the last thing you want after you score a run, plus the fact you have that inning-ending double play, and to lose even more momentum when you walk the leadoff man.
You're right, Scott. You hated to see it happen. Maybe we can get Ka'ahui on a double play. A slider is a letter-high pitch for a strike. Ka'ahui was 1 for 3 last night with an RBI double, a 15th round pick by Kansas City last year. He's hitting .201, 4 homers, 41 RBIs. Ronnie is set, the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Scott, I think this crowd is still coming in.
Oh, yeah, there was a ton of people out in the parking lot, and we're going to have a good crowd by the time this is all said and done tonight.
That's what we expected with the great weather and the famous San Diego chicken on hand. The 0-2 to the left-handed batter is high as Ronnie wasted one. We're in the top of the second, and the Kernels lead it 1-0. We're trying to beat Burlington for the first time in this 8-game series. The Bees have taken the first 3 convincingly. Ka'ahui waits for the 1-2 from Ray. and swings and misses. Strike 3, second strikeout for the 19-year-old Colonel right-hander. Ronnie pitched well in his last start Thursday in West Michigan. In Grand Rapids, he was a 4-1 loser, but in 5 2/3, he gave the Whitecaps only 3 runs on 7 hits, fanned 1, walked 2. Ray making his 6th start of the year, a 3.47 ERA, and now he faces Tim Friend, a right-handed hitter. Strike 1 called on the outside corner. Friend hitting .255, 2 homers, 20 RBIs. Tim was 0 for 4 last night. He's taking a long look at the Bee skipper, Joe Zielecki, in his 3rd year as the Burlington field general. The 0-1 to Tim Friend instead of throw to first. Scott, I know you really like these Bee road uniforms. They're classic. They look like the Dodger and Royal road uniforms.
Yeah, they do. Kind of a combination of the both. The Royals before they got the black into their color scheme.
The 0-1. Slider in the dirt to Friend. Yeah, I am so disappointed that the that the Mets and Royals went that route because they didn't need to.
No, they didn't. And you'll probably see it go back the other way pretty soon.
Big crowd here on this beautiful Tuesday night. The Kernels lead it early, 1-0. A runner at first with 1 out, Damaso Espino. Friend jackhammers one into left. It might skip by Caleb. No, he backhands it well. The throw to third, and the runner is out!
Boy, that was a great play by Caleb Mayer. Holy cow, it went over in the corner, backhanded it. Joe Zielecki had his runner going all the way. Espino, I didn't think there was any shot for Caleb, and he came up throwing and threw a 1-hop strike to Matt Brown. And pretty easy play. They had him by about 3 or 4 feet.
Oh, great description, Scott. I thought the key to it was that he cut the ball off on his backhand side and knew where to throw it.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Zielecki thought that Caleb was going to get to that ball.
Now on the throw to third, Friend took second. I believe they'll credit Tim with a single. Here's a pop-up into shallow right. It's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble. It's caught by Greg Porter near the line. A Texas League single bid and an RBI bid taken away in right by Greg Porter as Angel Sanchez, first pitch swinging, hit one off the end of the bat. It was caught in fair ground. Racing to his left, coming in from right field, Greg Porter made a fine running catch. Let's credit Tim Friend with the single until we hear otherwise. And as Scott said, the play at third to nail Espino went Caleb Mayer to Brown, 7-5. In the second for the Bees, no runs, no 1 hit, a walk. There were no Colonel errors, and Burlington leaves a runner aboard. After an inning and a half, the Colonels on top of Burlington, 1-0.
Cedar Rapids Golf. Serving your needs to a T.
Let Cedar Rapids Municipal Golf show you how much they glove you. All through June, that old glove you're wearing is worth $2 off any new regular price one you buy from the Jones, Twin Pines, or Ellis golf shops. Choose from Nike, FootJoy, Wilson, and Precept. Men's, women's, and kids' golf gloves, leather or all weather. Get $2 off when you trade in anytime in June.
Keeping you on the course, we're Cedar Rapids Golf. Serving your needs to a T. There is a one-stop service center for your car or truck. Webb's Transmission in Cedar Rapids, where Mike, Tracy, and the gang will take care of your automotive needs. Using a combination of experience, common sense, and computer diagnostics, Webb's Transmission will service your engine, transmission, perform brake and coolant service, or just about any routine maintenance. And now, Webb's Transmission offers injector cleaning. Webb's Transmission at the corner of J Street and 36th Avenue Southwest in Cedar Rapids. It's a fast-paced world. Things change at the speed of sound, yet some things never change, like your desire to deal with a solid, dependable car dealer. Zimmerman Ford has been around for 31 years. They still deal with a handshake and a promise to be there after the sale with quality service. Zimmerman Ford Town is Eastern Iowa's largest volume Ford dealer, and you don't get that way without being rock solid. Check them out on the web at FordTownUSA.com or in person on 1st Avenue in Cedar Rapids. Ford, BMW, Hyundai, and Mitsubishi at Zimmerman Ford Town.
We go to the Kernels' second inning, and it's 1-0 Kernels. Jared Abruzzo had 3 hits last night to raise his average to .260. Jared, a switch hitter, rips one deep to right. It may go. Adios! And Scott, it took about a second and a half to get out of here. Number 6 for Jared.
sharp line drive, and you're right, that took about 1.2 seconds. Ray Guy punts used to be in the air a lot more than that one. Spanked off one of the Tri-Vision signs, came right down, and yeah, Jared Abruzzo's starting to swing a pretty good bat right now.
My goodness, number 6 for Jared, tops on the team, a fastball hitter, and Colt Griffin served one up, and Jared turned it around. As Scott described it, he ripped it off the Tri-Vision sign in right, just over the green padded wall. Now Dvorsky's ahead 2-0. It's 2-0 Kernels here in the top of the second inning. Abruzzo belting his team-high 6th of the year. The 2-0 to Alex is a let-up, a strike called. Wow, Jared Abruzzo was sitting on heat, and I mean he was ready. A line drive home run. Here's a looper foul down the right field line. Alex would have had a double.
Well, if you're sitting fastball and you get one, as fast as Colt Griffin throws, you get good wood on it, and it's going to go away. And that's exactly what happened with Jared's.
Boy, oh boy, did it ever, Scott. I very rarely make a premature home run call because you don't want to be wrong on those, but man, I just had a good feeling by the sound of that thing, didn't you?
It was hit well.
The 2-2 is a slider taken outside, and it's a full count to Alex Dvorsky. Alex told me something very interesting in the clubhouse, Scott, that I'd like your comment on. The payoff pitch is inside a fastball. It just missed, and Alex follows the Jared home run with a walk. Alex is in the know on certain issues, especially having played at Iowa, and he told me that 2 names have surfaced as candidates to replace Coach Broghammer. One, Freddie Mims, who purportedly hit one of the longest home runs ever in the old Veterans Memorial Stadium. And the other, I don't know if you've heard, Bruce Kim may be interested. Have you heard either of those names surface?
Heard that, but Bruce, I guess, has a problem that he never got a college degree.
Oh.
Because of
yes.
baseball, so
yes.
That's could be a problem.
Well, I'm going to say something that I may be told. Your ground ball base hit up the middle by Jake Mathis will send Dvorsky to second. And Colt Griffin so far has not fooled anybody, Scott.
Well, he throws hard, but it is a very straight ball. And I'm sure that's one of the things the Royals have struggled with. You know why the Royals took him in the top 10 in the draft? I mean, the guy's 6'5", and over 200 pounds. He is a specimen out there, big, tall Texan. Kind of reminds you of Kerry Wood. Kind of built in that same ilk. But you just look by the way he does not. He's very inconsistent in how he pitches with his body movements.
Well, that's something that they say that Joe Torres is still working on at Rancho Cucamonga, the first-round pick of the Angels a couple of years ago. His release point and consistency in delivery. It's something you take for granted, Scott.
Yep.
Oh, Jake Mathis, who drove in 3 runs last night. At first, at second, Dvorsky, and ball 2 to Matt Brown. We're in the second inning, 2-0 Kernels, as the crowd eagerly awaits the appearance of the famous San Diego Chicken, Matt Brown. 1 for 5, tripled and scored in the Kernel 2-run 8th last night. I'll get back to the mention of Bruce Kim as a possible head coach at Iowa in a moment. Ball 3 is low, and you can tell Colt Griffin is really uncomfortable out there.
Well, he's got a different release point for a lot of his pitches.
Brownie ahead 3-0, nobody out. The Kernels have runners at first and second here in the second inning, leading 2-0. The 3-0 to Matt. A slider, a strike called. You know, I'm as an academician as they come. I went to get my master's degree so I could live the dream of coaching at the college level, Scott, and I believe firmly in that concept. But I also believe there should be an exception to every so-called ironclad rule. Here's a line drive to the shortstop. He throws to second, out, throw to first. Oh, out, a double play, a fantastic double play. Started it short, deep in the hole by Angel Sanchez. He took a hit away from Matt Brown. The most impressive part of the play, Scott, wasn't Sanchez getting to the ball. It was the strike he threw to Donnie Murphy at second.
That was as good as we've seen Ivar Kayaspo run all year. That was in the hole between shortstop and third, backhanded by Sanchez, who has only 8 errors this year. He's done a great job. Murphy only has 6 at second base, so this is one of the better fielding teams. 69 errors in only 63 games, and that ball was hit so hard, once he got it and got a good throw, it was going to be a double play.
Wow, that was some twin killing. Dvorsky to third. It was a real close play at first. I quite frankly thought Brownie beat the throw from Donnie Murphy, the second baseman, but Aaron Banks ruled him out on the back end of the wholesaler. Ball one outside to Quan. Ball too low. Quan's going to try to pick up Matt Brown, who had a 3-2 swing with runners at first and second and nobody out. But unfortunately, as Scott said, hit it hard on one hop deep in the hole at short, and Sanchez started a dazzling double play. The 2-0 to Cosby. A slider low and away. And I know a lot of academicians are going to disagree with me on this, Scott, but by golly, I'd make an exception for Bruce Kim. He's a legend and a hero in this state. Why would you deny him a chance to coach at the collegiate level? Because 20 years ago, he signed a pro contract.
Yeah, I don't have, that's not a fact, obviously, that might be a deterrent to keep him away from the job. That's just one of the things I've heard off the grapevine, like you have, about it.
The 3-1 to Cosby. He walks. Quan is the fourth base runner of the Kernels' second inning. And that walk is the third issued by Colt Griffin. Scott mentions Colt's numbers. He's 2-6. In 63 and a third innings, he's only given up 57 hits. However, he's walked 46 now in over 64 innings, and that's way too many walks.
And the last couple times out, he has not made it to the 5th inning.
That's not good. What about Freddie Mims? Have you heard his name kicked around?
I haven't really heard Fred Mims. That was the first time I've heard that name.
B.J. Weed tries a safety squeeze and misses on a bunt attempt. Strike one. Weed singled and scored in the first inning. Abruzzo led off this second with his 6th homer of the year, a line drive over the right field wall. Dvorsky walked. Mathis singled up the middle, but Matt Brown hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Quan walked. The 0-1 to B.J. Weed. Fouled into the screen, left to the plate, strike two. Mike Kuhlbeck tells me that Freddie Mims hit one of the longest home runs ever in the old Veterans Memorial Stadium when he was an Astro farmhand, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I understand as well. And a lot of prodigious home runs in that old ballpark.
Freddie's only in his early 50s, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
There goes Quan, a pitch low, the throw to second. Cosby steals it. Here comes the runner home. He is safe! Hey, Alex Dvorsky diced across the plate. A double steal.
Well, you know the hometown guy's going to delight a lot of his teammates and friends by, boasting that he stole home base.
As well he should, Scott.
As well he should. That was very well executed by the Kernels.
And they lead it 3-0. Weed in the hole 1-2 with a base hit could make it even a bigger Kernel inning. Ooh, a slider looked good from here, but the plate umpire ruled it low and away. Ball two to BJ. The stolen base for Cosby, his 7th of the year. The ball was in the dirt, and the shortstop Sanchez he couldn't get it out of his. Here's the pitch. A liner into left field. Coming on is Tim Friend, and he has it. Sanchez took the throw in the dirt and then fell back on his rump, and that prompted Alex Dvorsky to dash home. He beat the throw home from the shortstop. And was it ever exciting? In the second inning, 2 runs for the Kernels on 2 hits.
Just like tonight, our 2.5-year-old players and ladies are the ball cry of the game.
There were no B errors, and the Kernels left 1 man on. Weed ended the inning by flying out to left. We go to the top of the 3rd inning, and the Kernels lead Burlington 3-0.
It's one of those rituals of summer, mowing the yard. And when you're done, what do you do with the clippings? Well, your friends at Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling encourage you to leave those clippings on your lawn. This practice is called grass cycling, and it reduces your lawn's fertilizer needs because those clippings contain nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Grass cycling also helps crowd out weeds and build a healthier lawn. When you leave those clippings on your lawn, you reduce waste and save landfill space.
On the outside, everything looks fine. But on the inside, an unseen enemy is plotting the destruction of your home. Termites. Termites can be deadly to your home unless you fight back with certified pest and termite control. Yes, termites have made their way to Iowa, and they can cause extensive damage to your home before you even know they're there. It takes a trained professional to look in all the right places. Don't risk your home. Call the experienced, licensed, and insured experts at Certified Pest and Termite Control. 1 in 5 homes inspected have shown signs of termites. Certified offers guaranteed inspections and a 10% discount for seniors. Locally owned and operated, Certified carries a full supply for the do-it-yourselfers. Look for the giant ant at 1141 16th Avenue Southwest. Don't take a chance. Call Certified Pest and Termite Control today.
The lower two in the B order. In the top of the third, Ronnie Ray and the Kernels lead the Bees 3-0. Jensen hitting 174. Watches one sail outside. Ball 1 from Ronnie Ray. Little Clara Delaney, 2.5 years old, just took the field between the second and third innings as our Culver's small fry of the game. A let up and a strike on the outside corner to Jensen. 1-1. Clara had a Culver's cap on, and Mr. Shucks took her out to second baseman B.J. Weed, and as our Culver's small fry, Clara Delaney, little 2.5-year-old, got that Culver's cap signed. Ball 2 up and away to Jensen. And also, for Mr. Shucks, Clara received a certificate good for a free kids meal at Culver's. You can register your daughter or son to be chosen as our Culver's small fry of the game by visiting either of our Culver's frozen custard or Butterburger locations. A high drive, golf down the line and right. It's a fair ball, and Greg Porter, using some of those receiver skills that he honed at Texas A&M, makes the catch near the line in right field. Scott, you mentioned it briefly that John Campbell, who's here tonight, did a feature on Greg Porter.
Yeah, he did, and ran it during the news at 6 o'clock, just talking with Greg and with Todd Klaus about the transition, coming back from football, concentrating now on one sport, at least for a little while anyway.
A line shot into left center is a one-out single. Quan rushes over to his right to hold Bernard Stevens to the second hit of the night for Burlington. The number 9 hitter hitting 144, ripped one into left center for a one-out single. Those two Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger locations that you can register your daughter or son for their chance to be chosen as our Culver's small fry of the game. One is in Hiawatha, right across from Allen Motor Company, and the second Culver's frozen custard and Butterburger is in front of the Windsong 12 Theater Complex, Edgewood Road, Southwest. Mel Stocker lined out to shortstop. Alberto Callaspo his first time up. A throw to first, and Bernard Stevens, who has 11 steals and 16 tries, is back safely. 3-0 Kernels, top of the third inning. The B leadoff batter is a switch hitter out of... There goes the runner. A pitch low, and Jared drops the ball, cocking it back to throw, and it's the 19th steal of the year or the 12th steal of the year for Bernard Stevens.
Like having another leadoff man down there in that number 9 hole. Of course, he's only hitting 144, so that's the big difference between he and Mel Stocker.
Mel now with one out will try to chase home the first B run of the evening. A strike on a fastball on the inside edge, 0-1. Between innings, Scott Unash said, John, I wonder why the home plate umpire hasn't asked for the lights to be turned on. Well, Scott, he has now.
Got a little overcast on us.
Unexpectedly. Ronnie Ray checks the runner at second and delivers. Swing and a miss. Did he take something off of that?
Yeah, he did. That was a nice let-up. And Ronnie's that's been a strikeout pitch tonight, really. He's been getting the guys on an inside fastball coming back on the outer edge of the plate with a nice let-up.
The Colonel middle infielders bunch Mel Stocker up the middle. The 1-2 to Stocker. Change up in the dirt, ball 2. Mel went to Arizona State. When I think of Arizona State, Scott, I think of Rick Monday and Reggie Jackson.
Now, is that where Barry Bonds went?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those beautiful colors they have. The 2-2 to the switch hitter. Ooh, he checked his swing and took high, and Bernard Stevens bluffed a break to third, but held it second. Now the count's full. To Mel Stocker. Boy, this guy reminds me, I'm trying to think, he kind of reminds me of a young Vince Coleman. He's a switch hitter that can fly. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4. Doggone it. First and second, one out for Matt Tupman, a left-handed batter. Scott, the worst mistake Vince Coleman ever made was leaving St. Louis to become a Met. His career was never the same.
No, that's what Busch Stadium, of course, had the Astros, played a big part of the game, Vince Coleman. But sometimes you think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, or perhaps the money is a bit greener on the other side of the fence.
That's what it was. The Mets paid him a boatload, and then it was kind of sad at the end of his career. He was bouncing around with the Royals and the Mariners. But Vince Coleman in his prime was some player. Here's a drive into left center. I don't know if Quan can get it. He does! With a fantastic catch. A runner tags and goes to third. Cosby electrified the crowd. He took 2 runs away from Burlington on the best catch of the year in deep left center. I can't believe he tracked it down.
I'm going to show it again on the Rockwell Collins game link. Flat out, a belly flop, ball over his left shoulder, John. That is one of the best catches you're ever going to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's hardly a word to describe it other than you recounting it on the Rockwell Collins game link, Scott. It was a sensational running catch in deep left center. Bernard Stevens tagged and went to third. Mel Stocker, for unknown reason, well, he was going halfway to second. That's why he didn't tag. He made the good base running play as well. And I'm not kidding, Cosby took 2 runs away from Burlington, robbing Matt Tupman of a 2-run double. Here's a deep drive to left. Mayer back. He can't get it. It's over his head, and 2 runs will score to make it a 3-2 game. I'll be darned. Donnie Murphy takes the wind out of the Kernels' sails as he lined one just over the head of Caleb Mayer. Not nullifying, but certainly taking away some of the luster of that great catch by Cosby. Boy, Scott, how in the world does that happen?
This got a good pitch on the inside part of the plate and really hit it hard. Caleb, I thought, had a shot at it, made a leaping attempt at it, just couldn't quite flag it down.
And those 2 runs that Quan took away from Burlington have been driven in by Donnie Murphy. Unbelievable when a club is having bad luck like we are. Now Damaso Espino could tie the game, believe it or not. A slider is low, ball 1 from Ronnie Ray. Right after Quan Cosby took 2 runs away from Burlington, the Bees get those runs in on a line drive double that just did, as Scott said, elude Caleb Mayer in deep left. Ooh, a slider. That looked good, but they called it ball 2. Oh, boy. We were ahead 3-0 moments ago. The 2-0 to Espino. Grounded foul past the third base coach and manager, Joe Zielecki.
Haven't seen that happen. It went right through the gate of the dugout, John, and bounced right into the crowd.
Oh, boy. That catch by Cosby is still being talked about down below, but unfortunately, the next man did bring those 2 runs home for Burlington. Damaso takes ball 3 from Ronnie Ray. Now Ronnie's pitching just a bit tentatively.
Starting to talk to himself just a little bit. Jared Abruzzo, being the good veteran of this league anyway, went out and talked to Ronnie a little bit, reassure him, and get his head back into it.
Oh, boy. Here's a 3-1 to the cleanup batter. And it's wrapped foul outside of third. The count full now. Espino walked in the second inning. 3-2 Kernels, top of the third inning.
You are a winner if you buy today's date. June 10th, we need to pay $60.61. Thank you. Prizes in the Country Guest Services Center. The prizes from Ed and Mark Andy, Dr. J.J. Meyer, and the Flying Week.
3-2 swing and a miss. Well, that took some kind of gumption from Ronnie Ray as he came back and got Damaso Espino on a slider down and away. And in the third inning for Burlington, 2 runs on 2 base hits. 1 walk. There were no Kernel errors. And Burlington leaves a runner on. They've stranded a pair. Our first look at the world-famous San Diego Chicken. As we go to the bottom of the third inning, the Kernels lead the Bees 3-2.
Okay, so I'm dropping my daughter off at daycare, and as I'm walking out, I see myself in the double door. Uh-oh is right. My hair looks terrible. My ends are all scraggly, and my roots. Did you see my roots? I can't believe I've been walking around like this.
Have you tried cost cutters?
Oh, I'd love to get my hair done, but who has the time? With work and the kids, I barely have time to find matching socks, let alone time for my hair. Besides, I need the works.
Just go to Cost Cutters. They'll have you in and out and looking great in no time.
Yeah?
Yeah. At Cost Cutters, the stylist will keep you looking great with a new cut, some color, even highlights. Check out mine.
Oh, so Cost Cutters is your secret.
Yep. I even get my favorite products there. You know, shampoo, conditioner.
That's it. I'm going to Cost Cutters.
Right now?
My roots, thank you.
There are a dozen Cost Cutters here in our area, each offering a relaxed, convenient hair care experience with no appointments and no hassles. Cost Cutters makes things easy and affordable with professional stylists who care about you.
Cost Cutters. Live your life. We always have time for your hair.
The Crown Plaza Five Seasons is Cedar Rapids' exclusive downtown hotel. Make plans to experience a spectacular view from the top of the Five. Start your day off with us for breakfast or make a lasting impression on your business associates by treating them to our signature pasta bar for lunch. For any occasion, enjoy an elegant dinner or Eddie Picard Jazz Trio in the city's only rooftop restaurant. Call 363-8161 for reservations.
The attention and fancy of this crowd as we go to the bottom of the third inning. 3-2 in favor of the Kernels.
Leadoff batter for the Kernels in inning 3. Alberto.
It's the heart of the order for the Kernels. Alberto Callaspo walked his first time up, and he takes outside from right-hander Colt Griffin, 20 years old. As Scott mentioned earlier, a physique that has scouts drooling, 6'4", 200 pounds. His fastball is inside, or did it hit the bat of Callaspo? Apparently it did not hit Alberto's bat. Hey, the famous San Diego Chicken is coaching first base. He's coaching first base. I can't believe that. The 2-0 to Callaspo. Strike call. Griffin got one over. The Kernels about hit the Bees 3-2, or 4-3 rather, lead Burlington 3-2. Alberto taps one towards the Chicken. Does he see it? No, he didn't. The San Diego Chicken did not see that foul ball. The Kernel equipment manager did. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Callaspo, the league's leading hitter. Line drive into left field, but right at the left fielder. Who has it? Oh, Tim Friend took a couple of quick steps to his left and stabbed that hot shot off the bat of Alberto Callaspo, who could not have hit it harder. Alberto is the first Kernel out of the third inning. 3-2 Kernels. As the San Diego Chicken entertains from the first base coaching box. Taking over for James Rowson. Greg Porter ripped a single through the box to plate the first Kernel run of the night. It came in the first inning. Kernels scored 2 in the second inning, led 3-0, and the Bees answered with a pair in the top of this third inning on a 2-out RBI double to left by Donnie Murphy. Strike one called to the Kernel right fielder, Greg Porter, left-handed hitter. He grounds one sharply to first on one hop. Great play by Jensen. Underhands to Griffin for the out. Greg Porter hit a bullet on one hop, pulled it to Dave Jensen at first base. Jensen made a snazzy pickup and underhanded the pitcher covering for a 3-1 putout. And there are 2 out quickly here in the Kernel third inning. Caleb Mayer struck out his first time. Mayer hitting .254, takes ball 1 low. Now the famous San Diego Chicken is holding up some sort of poster, or I'm not sure what he... Oh, I see what he's holding up now. It's a picture of a swimming suit-clad beauty, and he's trying to distract Colt Griffin. Now what's he holding up? A swing and a foul by Caleb Mayer. It's 1-2. I'm not sure what the famous San Diego Chicken's holding up now. I think it's another poster of a beautiful woman. No. It's of a, let's just say a person who needs to lose a little bit of weight. A ground ball to third, and it's gobbled up there by Damaso Espino, and he fires across the diamond to retire Caleb Mayer. The Kernels go in order, and quickly, for the first time tonight, the Kernels go down 1-2-3, nothing across. The San Diego Chicken is mesmerizing this crowd with his antics. Now some of his little chickens, or some of his little chickadees, have sprung loose, and they're coming out to the field between the third and fourth innings. Scott Unash is KCRG's programming director, and Scott will be calling the middle three innings of this game. After three, the Kernels lead Burlington 3-2.
Life is a process of continuous change. Each of us has to be prepared to adjust to constantly changing events. One way you can make sure you're taking care of all the changes in your life is to visit Phil Andrews, your Pekin insurance agent at Weidenhammer Andrews in Cedar Rapids. You can depend on Phil Andrews, your Pekin insurance professional, to give you sound advice on insurance for your home, auto, life, and health. See Phil Andrews at the Weidenhammer Andrews Agency in Cedar Rapids to make your life a little easier. Here's a fact about the new Veterans Memorial Stadium I bet you didn't know. All of the grounds surrounding our community's newest source of pride are maintained by Greg's Lawn Service. That's right, it's Greg's Lawn Service that provides you with that initial lift when you approach our magnificent new ballpark. Greg's Lawn Service can put their first-class signature on your yard, elevating it to the same immaculate condition you see around the stadium. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest since 1983.
Previously on the Tony Kornheiser Show.
Ray Ferraro joins us now. I think the finals in this sport seem to mean more than the finals in other sports, and I don't denigrate the other sports, but there seems to be some magic about carrying that silly thing around and being able to take it home with you for a couple of nights during the late summer, right?
Players in other sports seem to be, at times, a little more focused on their own individual stuff, and you don't hear that in hockey. Everybody talks about the Stanley Cup.
I imagine there is an envy you have for the people that actually win this thing.
I look at some of the guys that get to carry the cup around, and
you want to kill them.
Oh, I'm jealous. You bet I am.
I want to punch him and kill him.
The cup, there's something special about it. It's not. You look at the Major League Baseball trophy; they give it to the owner. You know, here the players get it. It's the players' cup, and this trophy has such a history and such a tradition that we all grow up dreaming about it. And one day, lucky guys get to hold it, and the rest of us just play and skate around for a long time.
The Tony Kornheiser Show, weekdays on ESPN Radio.
And batter. He struck out back in the second to face Ronnie Ray. Kaihui hitting 201, and a slider misses outside. Ball one for the first pitch of the top of the fourth. Kernels with a run in the bottom of the first and two in the bottom of the second inning. Burlington got two in the top of inning number 3. Ball 2 misses down low. And Ronnie Ray looks into our friend, Mr. Will Robinson, behind home plate. Didn't ask anything, but kind of the body expression of where was that one. Here's the 2-0, swung on and hit high in the air and deep. Porter turns, goes back toward the track in right center, and it's off the wall. Porter plays it off the hop, throws it back in, and it'll be a leadoff double for Kaihui.
That's about as far as you can hit a ball in this ballpark without hitting it out, Scott. He crushed it.
So leadoff double. And that is the second time the leadoff man has been on for Burlington. That was majestic. And the Hawaiian's got a big broad smile on his face. Tim Friend, the left fielder, singled to left sharply. That came back in the second inning, and the pitch, curve in the dirt, blocked nicely by Abruzzo. Chicken's making the rounds now, John.
Yes, he is in front of the plaza section.
Hard to tell what he's going to do. Ray from the belt. Takes a look back to second and delivers. Fastball inside for ball 2. And now Jared Abruzzo is going to go out. Motion to his right-hander. I think we've lost about half the kids here in the ball game. The 2-0. Swung on, grounded to third. Brown looks the runner back to second, throws across for the out.
Oh, Brownie did a great job, Scott. He didn't give that courtesy look. He stared the runner till he saw him go back to second.
So 1 out. Runner stays at second. Tim Friend could not advance him on to third. That'll bring up Angel Sanchez, a slick fielding shortstop. 3-2 lead for the Kernels. And the first pitch to Sanchez is driven up the middle, going to his left. Callaspo fields it behind the bag and throws out Sanchez. Advancing to third is Kayahui with 2 outs. Nice play there by Alberto.
I was going to say, Scott, he looked just as good as his fellow Western Division All-Star Keystone combo mate Ibar. He looked good on that play going to his left.
Now, did Eric play last night?
Eric played last night, but he just is struggling so much at the plate, kind of just feeling for everything, that Todd has had to rest him quite frequently in the last week and a half. He's just tired, I think.
Yeah. 174 hitting Dave Jensen flew out to right last time up. Runner on at third. With 2 outs here in the fourth and a line drive to right center field. Porter over, makes the running grab. A couple hard hit balls in the top of the fourth, but the Kernels get out of it without giving up a run. No runs. A leadoff double stranded at third. 1 left on base for the Bees. As we'll head to the bottom of the fourth with the Kernels on top of Burlington. 3-2.
We got a sweet deal for you. A Kernels sweet deal, that is. The Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM wants to take you to a Cedar Rapids Kernels game, VIP style. You and a friend will enjoy all the action of a Kernels game in first-class style from the luxury of the Zone's VIP suite. And it's easy to win. Register today at Centerpoint Bank and Trust and Embroidered Images, Hiawatha.
Or get an official entry form online at thezone1600.com.
On June 9th, we'll pick 6 winners during game day with Scott Unash. The lucky winners and their guests will be our guests for an unbeatable night of baseball. Cedar Rapids Kernels baseball. VIP style with all the trimmings. We're talking food and beverages, baby! Register now with these fine Zone sponsors. Centerpoint Bank and Trust and Embroidered Images, Hiawatha. And at thezone1600.com.
You can do it!
The Cedar Rapids Kernels Sweet Deal with all the trimmings. Brought to you by The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Get in the zone!
Does it feel like you're in a different world when it comes to buying a car? Try Auto World, where they sell nice cars below book. Steve and Jerry have been making great deals on quality used vehicles for over 35 years, and they'd like to have you as a customer. No high-pressure sales at Auto World. Having a hard time finding the right car? Call Auto World and they'll find it for you. Come see the variety at Auto World. Take 16th Avenue to West Post and head south. Auto World, 390-3452. We sell nice cars below book.
Bottom of the fourth inning as the Kernels lead Burlington 3-2. That feels good to say. It's been a while since we've led in this 5-game losing streak. We're going to try to break it here tonight. Jared Abruzzo hit the first pitch at the bottom of the second inning, and he thundered it over the right field fence for his 6th home run. And he'll lead things off again here in the 4th inning. And the pitch from Griffin, blowing away, ball 1. Kept it away from Jared that time. Cole Griffin, number 1 draft choice out of Texas. And a curve misses outside.
Stephen Shell, one of our great pitchers last year, a high draft pick of the Angels, knew Colt Griffin in high school.
Ball 3 is high and away.
All Shelley could say is that a scout told him that Colt Griffin was clocked at over 100 miles an hour.
I believe it. 3 balls, no strikes to the leadoff man in the 4th, taking all the way, and a strike call.
An error was charged to the catcher, Matt Tupman, on the double steal by Cosby and Dvorsky.
So probably no steal of home. Abruzzo swings and misses, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Colt Griffin, the right-hander, delivers, and a chopper up the middle. Second baseman Murphy over to his right. Off-balance throw, and he gets a bruiso by 2 steps.
That guy should be on the All-Star team. It's a travesty that he's not. Donnie Murphy.
Well, I know Alberto is right up there, and he should be on it as well. Now, who else was on that infield that's taken Murphy's spot? You know, a lot of that is political, though.
Yes, it is. And the other thing that hurt Donnie, Scott, is he plays half his games at short and half at second, so people think he's a utility guy.
Dvorsky slaps one foul and out of play to the right side. Alex's former Marion Indians playing Benton Community tonight, the big Wamac Conference doubleheader over at Marion. The 0-1. Curve, strike 2, and that was the best curve of the night by Colt Griffin. No doubt about it. 1 out, bases empty, curve, and Alex fights it off and fouls it. Almost picked off Rhodey on the top step of the dugout.
I'll tell you, Alex did exactly that. Scott fought it off, and he's got a big hole in the backside of his left britches from that slide into home, stealing home.
Again, Griffin with the 0-2. High and away, ball 1.
And I think technically you're right, Scott. Al Gruwell, our official scorer, probably couldn't get Alex a steal of home, but we still like to think he did it, don't we?
Alex likes to think he did it. And time is called by Danger Will Robinson, the home plate umpire. I'm sure he's never heard that one before. The 1-2. Curve and line drive in the left field, a base hit for hot swinging Alex Dvorsky.
You said it, Scott. Hot swinging. Alex has really started to come alive during our trip to Dayton a couple of weeks ago, and he's been on a hitting tear ever since then.
1 out, 1 on. We'll see what the Kernels elect to do right here if they put Alex into motion. Dvorsky has a couple of steals. Not going, and the delivery swung on and fouled back to the screen by Jake Mathis. Jake singled to center. He undressed the pitcher, Colt Griffin. That came back in the second inning, and then Mathis was part of a double play that was dandy turn, 6-4-3 by Angel Sanchez. Let-ups outside for ball 1. I got to ask you, John, I don't know if you heard Dan Patrick today. They had Mickey Rivers on yesterday. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a foul just to our left.
Maybe in the visitors' broadcast booth.
Might be. It didn't hit anything.
I don't hear anybody. Well, we'll have to check on the status of Randy Wayhofer and his partner over there.
He's got a buddy over there, huh?
Well, some of the interns are looking up here as though somebody may have been hurt.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The delivery swung on and foul. We got to look out for our fellow broadcasters.
We're getting the thumbs up that they're all right.
All right.
Maybe a hole in the wall, but...
The 1-2, grounder foul.
I've never known or heard Mickey interviewed. I know that as a player he was flamboyant and...
Well, he's still flamboyant. You couldn't understand him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he talked too fast?
He talked a mile a minute.
Okay.
They found somebody to rival Ricky Henderson as far as, what do they call it, the malodrops?
Or referring to himself in the third person?
Well, not so much that.
Okay.
Just little sayings, and then they kind of expanded on that today. Here's the 1-2, a slow curve, strike 3 called. Jake didn't like it. He barks at Will Robinson, the home plate umpire. Strikeout number 2 for Colt Griffin.
Well, Scott, I'll say this about Mickey Rivers. A, he is a character. B, he liked to play the horses. But more than that, he was a terrific leadoff batter. Remember those Yankee teams in the mid-'70s that beat the Royals in the American League Championship Series?
Yeah.
Well, Mickey was a part of those.
Oh, you bet. Oscar Gamble on those teams as well. 2 outs. Dvorsky still on at first, not going, and a fastball is up high for ball 1.
Did they find a guy to imitate him, or?
No, they just took a lot of his context. He's got a book coming out. It's got to be very interesting. The 1-0 almost hit Matt. Gets him out of the way, and it's 2-0. Good hitters count right here. Then they brought up today other guys that have was it Dizzy Dean that used to do the Cardinal games?
Yeah.
And Dizzy would throw one of those raises every once in a while. Ball 3 is inside. That you'd have to just scratch your head and think about and then just kind of pass off. Well, they brought out some Mike Shannonisms today.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And as a Cardinal guy, I was wondering what you thought about that, if that kind of got under your skin a little bit or not.
Not at all, because Mike is a legend.
The 3-0, there's a strike to Matt Brown.
I'm glad you brought it up, Scott. When he first became the partner of Jack Buck in the late 60s, forced to retire due to a kidney ailment, and I'll continue in a moment.
Dvorsky not going, the 3-1, strike on the inside corner.
Some less than kind Cardinal fans referred to Mike as Marble Mouth because it sounded like we're talking with marbles in the mouth. Well, he's become very respected.
Dvorsky goes on the 3-2, and it's slapped to the right and out of play by Brown.
In fact, I'll tell you something that I don't think is too far-fetched. A few years ago when the Cardinals got rid of Joe Torre, Mike Shannon's name was mentioned as a possible replacement. He knows that much about baseball.
Dvorsky not being held on at first. He'll go with the pitch. There he goes. The 3-2 is golf foul toward Todd Klaus. Well, they had a few of them today. One of them was Mike started the inning with describing the action and what's coming up at Busch Stadium in the next homestand. He said, our next homestand coming up when we get back on this road trip.
I bet I've done that a few times.
The 3-2 swung on, a little number out to short center, and Stocker comes in. He'll make the grab, and that will do it for the Kernels here in the home half of the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Kernels leave a man on, and the Kernels have left 3 on through 4 at-bats. We'll head to the top of the 5th on a beautiful night at Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's the Kernels leading Burlington 3-2.
Spaghetti, we would never forget the Ojanos. Now it's where mi amore and I dine in. We carry out the lunch and the dinner all the time for lasagna, ravioli, mandacati, cannelloni, tortellini, or try their delicious salads and sub sandwiches too. The Ojanos is the hometown taste of Italy. For your next meal with friends and a family, remember the Ojanos with 5 convenient locations for the pasta that makes you sing.
If you don't stop by one of Jungi's 4 great locations, how will you know you got the very best deal? Stop in today at Jungi Lincoln Mercury Isuzu in Cedar Rapids, Jungi Ford and Jungi Chrysler Jeep Dodge in Center Point, and the new Jungi Chevrolet Pontiac in Anamosa. Now, 4 great locations, still one great name, Jungi.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin. You know, Hometown Restyling has served Eastern Ireland since 1986, providing the very finest in windows, siding, and sunrooms. Their experienced staff can handle the job from start to finish, including plans, permits, and inspections. Plus, Hometown Restyling is nationally recognized by Professional Remodeler, Qualified Remodeler, and Remodeling magazines. Call Hometown Restyling for your next remodeling project, or better yet, visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hiawatha or Coralville. Hometown Restyling, because there's no place like home.
Front of the ballpark with the San Diego Chicken as he was undressed literally by 3 members of the Burlington Bees.
I don't know if that's called a defrocking or a deflocking.
Defeathering.
Defeathering.
At any rate, he was awful cold out there. Top of the 5th inning. Kernels lead at 3-2. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Kernels. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error. And Ronnie Ray delivers the first pitch outside to Bernard Stevens, who showed bunt, pulled the bat back. Bernard singled to center and scored one of the 2 runs, that coming home on a 2-run double by Donnie Murphy. Let up, swung on and missed. 1-1.
Scott, Mike Kuhlbeck is great about giving us information about former Kernels' Halo happenings, and I thought it'd be fun for you to highlight 4 former Kernels from a year ago that helped Rancho in a win last night.
Here's the 1-1, and it gets away from Abruzzo. Rolls back to the screen. Well, some great names from last year. Tommy Murphy, shortstop, had 3 hits last night, scored a couple runs in Rancho Cucamonga's 5-4 win over Modesto. Here's the 2-1 from Ray, and it's swung on and hit down the first base line fair by Mathis into the corner. Porter cuts it off, throw to second, and not in time. Throw wide of the bag, and Stevens slides in with a double. Boy, he has been a tough customer for us in this series.
Yeah, hitting 144. He's 2 for 2 tonight, and that is, Scott, that is the third time in the first 5 innings that the Bees have put their leadoff man aboard.
Elsewhere last night for Rancho, Mike Elward had 3 hits and drove in a run. And Jake Woods got the win, scattering 7 hits over 6 innings. He's now 5-3. And Jonathan Rowenhorst picked up save number 8.
Isn't that great news?
And we knew, and Jonathan had the makeup to be a closer. It's just that we had Peralta.
Andrade and, Peralta. Boy, that was some bullpen we had last year with Andrade, Peralta, Rowenhorst, Griffin.
The count 1-0 to Mel Stocker, the tough leadoff man. Stands in from the left side. Ball 2 is low, and out goes Jared Abruzzo to talk with Ronnie Ray. Good crowd on hand. A lot of folks out on the Randy Keel Confidence Pavilion, which is one of the best views in the ballpark.
You were out there Saturday night.
Sunday.
Or Sunday, Scott.
Yeah, Sunday. You bet. I can attest to the view. Miller Mezzanine is just about filled to the rafters. Ball, strike called in the inside corner. Pitch looked high and in, and Stocker also thought it looked high and in. Runner on at second is Stevens. Led off the inning with a double and a 3-2 Kernel lead. And here's a high pop-up. Behind the plate, Abruzzo discards the mask, comes back and makes the grab.
Good play by Jared. He's improved so much in that aspect of his catching, Scott. That is finding the ball, positioning himself properly, and most importantly, taking charge and making those tough plays look easy. Because
if you remember 2 years ago, Jared Abruzzo had all kinds of problems getting those plays.
Yes, he did, and he's worked hard to get better.
Tireless. So 1 out, 1 on at second for Matt Tupman. He struck out and then was flat out robbed by Quan Cosby on a full out dive as the first pitch is taken for a strike. Beautiful catch by Quan Cosby. All out dive to his right on a ball that was over his head and tailing away. 1 out, looked to second. From the set, the delivery swung on and missed by Tupman. He was out in front of a changeup. Now Ronnie's got him set up for the strikeout. Listening to Kernel Baseball here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids. Rays 0-2, a swung on and lifted in the air to right center. Quan Cosby going over and now back a couple steps. He's got it for the out. Tagging from second, going to third is Stevens. And he'll be there with 2 outs. That ball really carried.
I was going to say, Scott, Tupman really got a hold of that one. There was just a moment there. I wasn't sure Quan was going to get back and get it. But he made a fine read of it and then spun and threw in just in case Bernard Stevens tried to score all the way from second, and I've seen that happen.
Well, here's a big spot in the game. Donnie Murphy with RBIs 43 and 44 earlier in the game with a base open. Runner on third, 2 out. We'll see how the Kernels attack this. They go right after him, and strike called on a fastball in the inside corner. You got to be very careful with Murphy here. Yeah,
he's Mr. Clutch. He's the best ball player on the B team.
The 0-1, slapped foul, and Joe Zalecki with a nice little short hop play there. The third-year manager of the Burlington Bees. And it's good to see Burlington starting to really pick it up down there in southeastern Iowa. Had a crowd of, 1,200 last night? They turned it around. The 0-2 almost hit Murphy, and a low bridge out of the way of a fly fastball.
Nothing wrong with that because no harm was done, but a message was sent, and that is don't lean across that plate.
And he was. Do not take liberties. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The right-hander from the windup. Swing and a miss by Murphy. He's out of there in a check swing on a slider, and that is strikeout number 4 for Ronnie Ray. For Burlington, they strand the leadoff double here in the top of the 5th inning. Bees, no runs, a hit, no errors. They leave a man on halfway home from the vet tonight. And on this gorgeous Tuesday, after 4.5, the Kernels lead 3-2.
I cannot face anyone but me. Baby, can't you see I know what's right for me? Don't tell me wrong from right. I know just what I like. Yeah, hold me crazy, I don't care. Come feel the joy all around each generation. They left their own understands. Come to shout it out.
Papa John's pizza, it's so good. Better is best, that's understood. Better call Papa John's tonight. Better call Papa, he's got it right. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Papa John's.
Attention baseball fans, call your local Papa John's for our home run special. Get a large pizza with up to 3 toppings of your choice for only $9.99.
Papa John's.
Better call Papa.
When searching for a professional logistics team of experts to handle your warehousing operations, look to Worley Warehousing. Worley Warehousing will help you achieve greater efficiencies by providing superior warehouse facilities, technological advancements, and expert professionals. By focusing on technological innovations and keen foresight, Worley Warehousing has grown into one of our nation's leading warehousing operations. Worley Warehousing, your single source for all of your warehousing and distribution needs.
3-2 Kernels. The bottom of the 5th inning. As the Kernels will have the top of the order, Quan Cosby, B.J. Weed, and Alberto Callaspo. Coming up, Quan walked and is grounded out to the pitcher. He's 0 for 1 officially. Kernels lead 3-2. They got 1 in the first and 2 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Colt Griffin, the number 1 draft choice a couple years ago for Kansas City, deals ball 1. The Chicken's got his feathers back.
I didn't notice that, Scott.
1 ball, no strikes, and the right-hander's delivery is tapped foul in front of the Kernel dugout. The Roadrunner will track it down. Our Old Navy jackpot is up to 750 garbanzos.
Whoa, Quan could outfit the whole clubhouse with a couple of new pieces of threads, or a couple of new wardrobes with that.
And the booth. The hard-throwing Texan delivers, and a ground ball to the shortstop. To his left, Sanchez gobbles it up, and a sidearm throw to first to get Quan. He is really smooth. Sanchez, I got to think that the 2 up the middle for Burlington, along with Callaspo and Ibar, they're the best keystone combos in the league, at least in the Western Division. Anyway.
I'd agree, Scott. You saw Pinky earlier tonight, and Pinky has to be very gratified by how well Burlington's playing.
I would think so. Here's All-Star B.J. Weed. They'll take off, what, Monday morning, Chad?
That's the plan. Off to Grand Rapids.
They got to love another trip to Grand Rapids.
That's right. I think Jack Rader will be driving his Randy Keel Honda van to transport the 5 Kernel All-Stars to Grand Rapids.
The 1-0 delivery, chopped up the middle. Behind the bag, the second baseman Murphy throws to first. They just get Weed.
Oh, boy. You said it, Scott. You take our 2 guys up the middle, and what we've seen in this series, Sanchez and Murphy. And, boy, I'd be very, very happy if I were the Angels and Royals with the future in this Midwest League of these guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
They can, all 4 of them can play.
They can pick it up the middle. 2 outs, nobody on for Callaspo. A walk and a liner to left for Alberto. Looks at the first pitch for a strike.
Want to remind you that our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question will be coming your way in the top of the 6th inning.
That is right around the corner. The 0-1. There's a curve in the dirt. 84 miles per hour from Colt Griffin.
Boy, that's a great baseball name.
Line drive right up the middle. Coming on. Stocker dives. Can't get it. And look out. Callaspo Kayaspo on his way to second. He's on his way to third. The right fielder, Stevens, has it. He's around third. Here's the throw home. He is out at the plate. And a high tag by Tupman.
Oh, I thought we had one.
Going for the inside the park home run, Kayaspo. Hey, give Todd Klaus credit.
Yeah, it took a perfect relay.
Woo!
Oh, Scott, as soon as that ball got by the center fielder, I just had a sense it might be an inside the Parker, and it was a perfect relay. And as you said, the catcher, Matt Tupman, tagged Kayaspo high. Alberto didn't make any attempt to really bowl over the catcher, nor did he slide. He just let up a little bit.
It'll be ruled a triple, and I believe an 8-6-2 putout. But that put a charge into the crowd. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll head to the top of the sixth as the Kernels lead Burlington 3-2.
If you're looking for something, there are many helpful tools. A telescope, when you're looking for something big. A microscope, when you're looking for something small. Or bare feet, when you're looking for lost Legos. But if you're looking for a family doctor, the most helpful tools are your telephone or your computer. Simply call Mercy Care Family Physicians at 369-4444 or visit our website at www.mercycaredoctors.com for all the details on the Mercy Care Family Practice location nearest you. You'll find the Mercy Care Family Physician best suited to your needs, including those who offer special services for... So if you're looking for a family doctor, choose the right tool for the job. Call 369-4444 or on the web at www.mercycaredoctors.com. Looking for a family doctor has never been easier.
Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's your patio daddy-o?
Your patio daddy-o.
Charbroiled, cutlet flipping man with the buns, who's your patio daddy-o?
Your patio daddy-o. The only comes Clements, 'cause it's number one for taste and fun.
Econo Foods is the place to save on Clements Fine products this week. Shop Econo Foods for hot pricing on Clements.
Let's hear it for famous chicken and party.
Well, a visitor with the chicken here tonight, John. And the old lovable purple dinosaur, Barney, who got a forearm shiver from the chicken after putting on a pretty nifty dancing display. Damaso Espino, Kayla Kaiahui, and Tim Friend coming up for Burlington as the train chugs by outside the right field.
Boy, it's spewing out some heavy coal or smoke.
Some good diesel going by out there, John.
Where's the guys from the EPA?
The 1-0 from Ronnie Ray is blown away for ball two. Well, I tell you what, John, I thought we both had an inside the Parker right there.
The reason is there wasn't time for either the left or right fielder to back up the center fielder on that line shot into center by Alberto. Boy, that was some relay.
It was actually a 9-6-2 relay, not an 8-6-2.
So Bernard Stevens came to the rescue from right field.
Yes, he did, and a great throw from Sanchez. The 2-1 inside from Ronnie Ray, ball three. Ronnie so far has pitched 5 innings, given up only 4 hits and 2 runs. 9-4-2. Okay, Al, thank you much. So 9-4-2 is a great throw from Murphy. Swinging a ground ball left side underneath the glove of Brown. Deflects it to Kayaspo. Throws it first, not in time.
Oh!
That would have been a rare 5-6-3 put out.
Ooh, that was close at first. A great pick by Jake Mathis. We want to remind you that this is the inning that you can earn a $5 gift certificate to the Spring House, as well as a wooden token for a free cup of coffee at the Spring House, as our Spring House Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. Winner, if you've been one of our 33 previous winners, please don't call in this evening. Give all those other Kernel fans a chance to savor a great meal and a free cup of coffee at the Spring House.
Well, that'll be ruled an infield single from Espino, and here's Kayla Kaiahui, one of the couple of Hawaiians on this team for Burlington.
Yes, they have a pitcher, Kaihi Kanoi.
Espino not going, and a curve in the dirt. It's 1-0.
We want to remind you that the Springhouse now serves beer and wine coolers. In addition to all the other terrific items on the menu at the Springhouse, Lester and Lauren Schmitz will treat you like a king or queen when you come in. They serve beer and wine coolers.
Ground ball sharply hit the Mathis. Goes to second for one on the first double play. 3-6-3. Sharp one hot for John right at Jake. That hit him right in stride as he was leaving the bag holding the runner.
Jake has really solidified that first base position, both with his bat and his glove. And, man, he made a good play on a hard hit ball by the left-handed hitter, Ka'ahui. And, as you said, Scott, started a 3-6-3 double play. Those are not easy to complete.
There's a fastball to the right side of Tim Friend. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the second and grounded to third. That came back in the fourth inning. Both teams with 6 hits, but the Kernels lead at 3-2. There's a slider for a strike. We'll get to our question here, John. We're almost out of top of 6.
It's from the Springhouse.
We'll get it to you after this pitch. Deals with John's favorite team. I'll give you a clue on that one. Curve is down low, and it's ball 2, strike 1. I'll give the question here. What current St. Louis Cardinal has played in 8 consecutive postseasons? What current Redbird has played in 8 consecutive postseasons? As ball 3 is down low to Tim Friend.
That's our Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question. 896-7615. 896-7615. The number to call.
The 3-1 from Ronnie Reyes swung on and lifted high in the air on the infield. Jake Mathis behind first gives way, and B.J. Weed, a couple steps into the outfield grass, puts it away for the third out here in the top half of the 6th inning. For Burlington in the top of the 6th, no runs. 1 hit, erased on a dandy double play, 3-6-3. No errors, nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Kernels on top of Burlington, 3-2.
Success story from LendingTree.com.
I needed a new kitchen, which meant I needed a home equity loan. So I went to LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form and got 4 offers back within hours. Then I got the loan I wanted. Oh, did I say loan? I meant kitchen.
Visit LendingTree.com or call 1-800-555-TREE. That's 1-800-555-TREE. When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com. Equal housing opportunity. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
A nation built on liberty, free from tyranny, free from persecution, free from oppression. This was the life they longed for, and the glorious cause they fought for. The Glorious Cause, the magnificent novel of the American Revolution by Jeff Shara, best-selling author of Gods and Generals. People magazine declares the Glorious Cause will keep you riveted until the last musket is fired. The Glorious Cause by Jeff Shara, now in Valentine paperback.
When it comes to life insurance, think ahead. Think about planning for your family's future with Farm Bureau Financial Services. Bob Collette and Marion can help you determine what coverage is right for you and your family. When so much in life is beyond your control, aren't you glad life insurance isn't? For your family's future, think about life insurance from Bob Collette in Cedar Rapids. Farm Bureau Financial Services, more than you think. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, West Des Moines, Iowa.
Well, the Chicken having fun with our home plate umpire, Will Robinson. 3-2 Kernels as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. We have a winner to congratulate in the Springhouse Baseball Trivia Challenge. Marty Smith listening in Center Point tonight.
Scott, Marty wanted to pass on that he's a regular listener to the Game Day show on the Zone that you host every weekday from 3 to 5, and he loves listening to Colonel Baseball, and he sure was happy as our Springhouse Family Restaurant Baseball Trivia Question winner.
And we'll give you the answer to our question in a moment as the Burlington bullpen is going as we start the bottom of the 6th. Greg Porter looks at one low and in for ball 1. Right-hander throwing down the third base line.
Yes, Steve Chamberlain, who already pitched in this series.
Porter 1 for 2. RBI single and a ground out. A check swing and a foul at the feet of the catcher Tupman. We asked what current St. Louis Cardinal has played in 8 consecutive postseasons. And Marty Smith, our winner tonight out of Center Point, he correctly identified that the former Yankee and now Current Redbird Tino Martinez has played in 8 consecutive postseasons.
I believe starting in 95 with Seattle.
Then went over to the Yankees.
Yes, and that's a longer streak that Derek Jeter has.
Ball 3 is outside from Colt Griffin.
Well, Marty Smith, thank you for your kind words about our broadcast. You have indeed won the Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question, a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse.
Here's a little liner up the middle for a base hit by Greg Porter on a 3-1 pitch. And Greg's 2 for 3.
As well as a wooden token for a free cup of coffee. Marty Smith of Center Point, Iowa, correctly identifying Tino Martinez as the current Cardinal who's played in 8 consecutive postseasons. We had one caller who had a great guess, Scott, Jimmy Edmonds.
Jim Edmonds, former Anaheim Angel. I'm not sure he made the postseason with Anaheim.
No, unfortunately, he never did.
And a pitch inside almost got a piece of Caleb Mayer, but it was a foul ball, and I think that did get a piece of Will Robinson.
Yeah. Tino was a part of the Mariner team that beat the Angels in that one-game playoff in 95. Remember that, Scott?
Oh, you bet.
And then the Mariners knocked off the Yankees in the American League.
In a memorable series that ended, I think, up in the Dome.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Marty Smith of Center Point, Iowa. You are a Springhouse Family Restaurant baseball trivia question winner.
And thanks for all the kind words.
Yeah, Marty's a regular listener, Scott.
Porter has not stolen a base yet with a small lead, and kind of a sidearm pitch is blown away to Caleb Mayer, and it's 1-1. Caleb hitting .254 with 2 home runs and 20 driven in. 0 for 2 tonight. Open stance from the right side, and Colt Griffin from the high set delivers, and a ground ball could be 2 to the shortstop. Sanchez over to second for 1, and the throw pulled the first baseman Jensen off the bag. So 6-4 put out of Greg Porter, and safe on a fielder's choice is Mayer. That'll bring up the switch hitting catcher Jared Abruzzo, who socked his 6th home run back in the 2nd inning and is grounded out to second. He's pulled the ball twice.
Well, those little things can win you games, Scott, and I like the way Greg Porter barreled in very cleanly to Donnie Murphy, and that caused Murphy's throw to miss the mark at first, and thus no double play.
Jared's picked at the first pitch. He does again. A line drive to right, but right at Bernard Stevens, who makes the play. Mayer was off the bag a little bit, has to hustle back in for 2 outs.
Boy, Jared is in some kind of zone, isn't he?
Speaking of zones, here's Alex Dvorsky. Alex, a walk, a run, and a single to left. He's approaching 260 now.
This may be Colt Griffin's final inning of work.
I got to think it is. Former number 1 draft choice of the Royals. 2 outs, 1 on, and a slider for a strike. Tino Martinez was the answer to a trivia question I had a couple weeks ago.
Is that right?
Who was the last man to hit a grand slam in the World Series.
Wow.
The 0-1 in the dirt. There goes Mayer. Throw down to second, and not in time. A wild pitch. And good hustle by Caleb Mayer. He's now in scoring position for the red-hot Dvorsky.
Boy, you'd love to see that kind of initiative, because really a coach can't, there's just no time for a coach to watch and say, go, go, go. The runner has to make a split-second instinctive decision, Scott.
James Rowson can help out a little bit, but that's the base runner's prerogative. Yeah, Tino Martinez in 97, I want to say. Or the year they played the Padres. Was that 97? The 1-1, golf to the left side, wide at third, shortstop Sanchez, backhand, throws to first, and they got in.
Wow.
Dug out of the dirt by Dave Jensen, and Angel Sanchez just saved a run for Burlington.
Yes, he did.
What a backhanded play to his right to snuff out a Colonel rally in the bottom of the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no BRs, and the Colonels leave a man on base. As we head to the top of the 7th, John Rogers back with you with the call. And after 6 complete, good news from the ballpark as the Colonels lead Burlington 3-2.
Remember when you were a child and there was a safety patrol person near your school to make sure you could cross the street safely? Don't you wish you had a safety patrol with you to help you conduct your life safely? Scott Draper, your Pekin insurance agent at Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, can help you feel safe with the right insurance coverages. For the right insurance for your home, auto, life, health, and business, see your Pekin insurance agent, Scott Draper at Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion.
Budweiser True Music is music created for real music lovers by real musicians, like Tyler Connolly of Theory of a Dead Man.
I know a guy that has actually got a routine he does. He goes, well, from 8 to 10 a.m. I do songwriting, and then from 10 to 11 I do yoga. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that. You know, you just gotta, to me, when it comes to me, it comes to me. I'm not gonna force anything.
This moment of true music was brought to you by Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Benjamin Franklin once said, well done is better than well said. Thanks, Ben. At Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, we agree that talk is cheap. But what separates Benjamin Franklin Plumbing from all the others? I must say, I don't know. Well, for starters, a Benjamin Franklin plumber's work begins the moment you make the call. Really? How so? Our call takers are real problem solvers. They'll set up your service appointment around your schedule. And when it comes to the actual work, our plumbers won't waste your time. We'll be there. In fact, if we don't show up on time, we'll give you a Franklin, a Benjamin Franklin, $100 bill. Splendid. You can expect prompt, punctual, courteous service, and we'll be sure to get your approval before starting any work. Now that's my kind of plumber. Benjamin Franklin plumbers are trained to fix your problems so they stay fixed. That's why we're named Benjamin Franklin, the punctual plumber.
Call your Benjamin Franklin plumber at Strictly Plumbing, 373-2524.
Benjamin Franklin, the punctual plumber.
He wants some help from the Colonel dugout, and he's not getting any right now. Chicken got pelted pretty good, but now they'll have to have balloon cleanup here for a moment.
The famous San Diego Chicken didn't chicken out. He had all those balloons hurtled at him from the B dugout and stood right there and took it. Well, we're in the top of the 7th. It's been a fantastic night for baseball and a terrific game. 3-2 Kernels. Ronnie Ray's first pitch is a line drive over the head of the leaping second baseman Weed. A good play by Porter to backhand it and a leadoff single. How many times have the Bees put their leadoff man aboard tonight against Ronnie Ray? I think 4 times out of 7 innings.
Boy, I really like Angel Sanchez. And now the Colonel bullpen is up and going as left-hander Hayden Glemo started the throw.
Yes, the Bees indeed have put their leadoff man aboard 4 times in 7 innings against the Colonel 19-year-old right-hander Ronnie Ray. Hits are even at 7 apiece. Let's see if Dave Jensen is bunting. Scott, I think he may be bunting.
I think he might be, too. You got a couple guys hitting under the 200 mark, but Bernard Stevens has been red hot against us. Let's see what he does.
He's bunting, and it's a good bunt. Ronnie Ray will throw to second. Safe. And first and second, nobody out. Oh, boy, I don't know. Ronnie's throw, had it been on the mark, they might have had the runner, but now we've opened a terrible door, a chance for a big inning for Burlington. They may bunt again. Will that be ruled a fielder's choice or a sacrifice?
We'll have to wait and see. Might also be ruled an error. That throw, they had him.
Okay.
If the throw is a good one, but Ronnie had his momentum going toward first base bag, and he tried to throw a fastball to the bag.
Now
I think he pulled Cayaspo off.
He did, Scott. Not by much, but he did, and a good call by Aaron Banks as Ronnie's throw to second, off the mark. It would have gotten Angel Sanchez. Now the question is, does Joe Zielecki let Bernard Stevens swing away? He's 2 for 2, or does he have him bunt? I think he'll bunt.
That may have been just a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. No error has been given to the Kernels as of yet. And he is bunting in a pickoff play.
Ooh, boy, that was close as B.J. Weed came in behind the runner at second, Angel Sanchez. Let's rule it as such, Scott. Let's rule it a sacrifice and a fielder's choice for Dave Jensen.
They had the wheel play on right there, John. The Kernels did. Cayaspo, the shortstop, breaking to third. Third baseman Matt Brown breaking in, and the second baseman Weed going behind the runner at second base.
And it almost worked. Stevens is choking the bat as though he's going to try to lay one down. He is squaring to bunt. And the pitch almost hit him, ball 1. The Kernels are in a tight spot now. We've led the entire evening. We're in the top of the 7th, and it's 3-2 Kernels. But the Bees got a leadoff single from Angel Sanchez as he ripped one over the head of B.J. Weed. And then Dave Jensen put a bunt down just to the right of the mound. Ronnie Ray picked it up to the first base side of the hill, and as Scott described it, his momentum was taking him towards the first base bag itself. He whipped the throw to shortstop Kayaspo at second and pulled Alberto off the bag, and thus first and second, nobody out. Ball 2 dips low, and now we're even in further trouble as Ronnie Ray walks dejectedly towards Abruzzo to get the ball back.
Well, you say you want to throw high fastballs. Eric Bennett's going to come out and talk with his right-hander. If batter's showing bunt, you want to throw that high fastball in there. That's a tough pitch to bunt. You are apt to pop that one in the air a lot of the times.
Stevens has taken 2. The Kernels are proud to bring you our Kernel Did You Know question. Visit us online at kernels.com, Kernels. You can order tickets or preview coming promotions here at the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, or call the Kernels for tickets, 896-7615. Our Colonel Did You Know question: did you know that Sandy Alomar Sr., who's really known now as the father of 2 All-Stars, Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher, and second baseman Roberto Alomar, did you know that Sandy played 15 years in the big leagues and stole 227 bases? A bunt to third. Matt Brown throws to third. Out! Wow, Scott, I'm glad you told our fans that the Colonel had the wheel play on, because it sure paid off. Stevens bunted it to third baseman Matt Brown. There was no hesitation by Brownie as he hit Kayaspo at third.
5-6 foot out if you're scoring at third, but that's a big out. But the Colonels still are not out of this. 3 tough hitters: Stocker, Tutman, and Murphy now.
Yes, our Colonel Did You Know question. Sandy Alomar Sr. played 15 years in the big leagues. And although he's better known as the father of 2 All-Stars, his son Sandy Jr., a catcher, and second baseman Roberto Alomar, Sandy himself played with Milwaukee, the Braves, the Mets, the White Sox, and then the California Angels. And our Did You Know question: did you know he stole 227 bases in his career? Mel Stocker took a pitch low. Now one just misses outside. And it's 2-0 to the dangerous, as Scott described him. The next 3 men in the order are extremely dangerous. First and second, 1 out. Top of the 7th, and the Colonels lead the Bees 3-2. Ronnie set. Here's the 2-0. A pop foul and no room for Abruzzo. This one will be down below, or actually on top of the grandstand roof. Hayden Glimo still warming up in the Colonel bullpen.
Hey, did you find out what happened to our buddies from Burlington over there?
Yes, the ball went into the suite next to them, and a woman is wearing an ice pack on her right hand.
Okay, so it did pick off somebody.
It did a fan, but not a broadcaster. And the woman is fine. She just has a swollen hand. Ooh, where was that 2-1 pitch to Stocker? I guess low, ball 3. Our Colonel Did You Know question: did you know that Sandy Alomar Sr. played 15 years in the big leagues, was an All-Star in 1970, and swiped 227 bases in his career? Very few do know that, but thanks to the Colonels, you now know that Sandy Alomar Sr. was a good ball player in his own right. Just 5'9", 155 pounds, from Puerto Rico. Played every game for the Angels back in the early 70s and earned him the nickname the Iron Pony.
Not the horse. He was more of a pony. And Roberto got his speed and build.
A line drive into right, carrying out to Porter. Gregg's there and has it. The runner tags. He's going to third. The throw there is not in time. First and third. And Ronnie Ray got Mel Stocker on a 3-1 pitch to hit it off the end of the bat. And he pulled it into right. Porter caught it. Let's see if... No, I don't think they're going to let Ronnie pitch to Matt Tupman. They're going to bring in Hayden Glimo. And, Scott, I hope our fans, led by Ann and Eric Kern, give Ronnie Ray his due. I thought the kid pitched his heart out here tonight.
Yeah, he really did. Partial line on Ronnie. 6 2/3 innings pitched. He has given up 7 hits and struck out 4. Walked only a pair.
When he leaves, Ann and Eric Kern have started the clapping. Listen to the hand for 19-year-old Ronnie Ray. Ronnie deserves that big round of applause. As Scott said, he kept the Colonels ahead in this game for 6 2/3 innings, and that's known as a quality start.
Absolutely. Now Hayden Glemo will come in, and his assignment as a lefty, get the lefty.
A U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen. As Scott noted, summons in Hayden Glemo, brought to us by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular. Visit them or call U.S. Cellular at 1-888-BUY-USCC. U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Hayden Glemo suffered a bad fate Saturday in the Colonel 17-4 loss to these Bees. In fact, Hayden was hung with the loss. His last 2 outings have been losses, Scott, and Saturday he was pinned with the loss.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding here for Hayden lately. 2 innings the last couple of outings has given up 6 earned runs and 7 hits. So Hayden is due to come in here and get the tough hitting catcher, Matt Tupman. For Hayden Glemo, 3-3, 4.68 ERA, 23 appearances, all in relief. 32 and a 2/3 innings pitched. 30 hits he has given up, 17 earned runs, has walked 17, and has struck out 28, league hitting .240 against Hayden Glemo. Has been very, very good up until the last couple of outings.
Yes, he has. He could not hold a lead of 3-1 in Grand Rapids, Michigan back on Tuesday, a week ago, as the Whitecaps rallied in the 8th and won at 5-3. And then, as we said, Hayden was hurt by a walk and an error Saturday night in the Colonel 17-4 loss here at home. But Hayden will try to get the left-handed batter, Matt Tupman. Scott, you know it's a shame in conjunction with our Colonel Did You Know question. Some people are always going to remember Sandy Alomar Jr. for that awful spitting incident with John Hirschbeck. And I don't condone it. It was a terrible thing, but he's also a great player.
Well, that was Roberto.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Roberto Alomar. Yeah.
And the fact that Roberto has gotten kind of a little bit of a... some people have gotten on him for being lazy the last couple of years since he's gone to New York. I know Tony La Russa just about pulled the trigger on a trade for Fernando Vina and Roberto Alomar earlier in the year, which I'm not so sure would have been good for the Cardinals, but you never know.
Matt Tupman takes a curve, a dandy, strike one as Hayden gets ahead. Yeah, you're right, Scott. If anybody could rejuvenate the career of Roberto Alomar Jr., it would be, or Roberto Alomar, it would be Tony La Russa. But I'm kind of glad he kept Vina, even though Fernando's on the disabled list. First and third, 2 out. Swing and a miss on a curveball, and Hayden's ahead, 0-2. Now the question, Scott, becomes, with a runner at third, tying run, do you go right after the hitter, or do you waste a pitch?
Well, I think you try to do a little bit of both. Maybe go with a letter-high fastball up and in. Try to set up maybe another one of those curves, because Tupman has had no clue in the first 2 curveballs.
What will Hayden do on an 0-2 pitch? He'll throw to first and chase the runner, the go-ahead run. Bernard Stevens back there. The Bees have put their leadoff batter aboard 4 of their first 7 times tonight. Yet they trail us 3-2. Hayden is set above the letters. The 0-2. A curve, just as Scott said, blocked by Abruzzo, ball 1. Boy, Scott, you knew exactly what was coming.
Well, I thought he'd throw the fastball and then the curve,
okay.
But he tried to snap off about a 58-footer right there. And a good block by Abruzzo. If you're going to throw that pitch, you got to have a lot of confidence in your catcher.
Tupman is 0 for 3 tonight, robbed of a 2-run double by Quan Cosby back in the third. Matt hitting .232, stands straight away from the left side. Hayden's 1-2 is in the dirt, blocked by Abruzzo to save a run. 2-2 to Tupman. That's the one thing that Hayden has struggled with the last 2 outings, is he can get 2 strikes on a guy, but he's finding it difficult to put a batter away.
Maybe trying to get a little too fine instead of staying with what got him there.
Boy, it's great to see so many Toyota Financial Services 250-minute thundersticks in this crowd tonight. And a lot of the 500-minute visors being worn as well. A curve, ball 3, so now the runners will be going, right, Scott?
Well, the runner for first will be going.
Oh, boy. Hayden was ahead of the left-handed batter, 0-2, and give Tupman credit, Matt has not offered on 3 straight curveballs after the 2 curveballs for strikes.
Well, he's seen 5 of them. I would almost bet he'll see a 6th.
Hayden Glemo has his sign. The runner from first is going. Here's the 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and now the bases are loaded for the guy you would least like to see up in this situation, Donnie Murphy. Oh, Hayden was ahead of him 0-2, and Scott, I think you nailed it. I think Hayden tried to be just a little bit too fine and too perfect. He never did challenge Tupman, maybe by orders of the Colonel Brass.
Nobody up at the bullpen, so it is up to Hayden.
Yeah, there are a lot of those Toyota Financial Services white and red Thunder sticks and tan 500-minute visors. A breaking pitch dips down and in, ball 1 to Donnie Murphy. The Colonel lead is in peril with 2 out. Top of the 7th, 3-2 the score in favor of the Kernels. But the Bees have the sacks loaded for one of their best hitters, Donnie Murphy. Tonight, Donnie, a 2-run double over the head of Mayer in the 3rd inning, has produced both the Bee runs. Here's the 1-0. Nub foul. Boy, that was an awkward-looking swing, Scott.
He was so far in front of that thing, he
almost had to stop his swing.
He almost had to stop his swing. Got it off the very end of the bat.
Boy, you talk about a disjointed swing by Donnie Murphy. Donnie's a .291 hitter, a right-handed batter, who is, in my opinion, the best player on the Burlington club, and that's saying something. The Bees have a well-rounded team. A curve, and it's ruled low. Now the fans behind the plate getting on the plate umpire, Will Robinson.
Yeah, that was real close. Robinson didn't pull the trigger. And I think somebody in the Colonel bullpen or Colonel dugout just got a little look and a talk and a word from Mr. Robinson.
This big crowd is in a quiet hush as they hope that Hayden Glemo can get out of this 7th inning jam. As Scott noted earlier, both the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion and the Miller Mezzanine Terrace are jam-packed with Colonel fans.
We may have 3,200 or more tonight.
We hope we do. Here's a drive foul over the Miller Mezzanine Terrace. The Kernels playing the Bees in Game 4 of an 8-game series. Tomorrow we'll pause for a day off. It'll be the annual Kernel Charity Pro-Am golf outing at Airport National.
Make your plans. Noon shotgun. Still time to sign up tomorrow morning.
The 2-2. A ground ball to the right side. Weed has it. Throws the runner out. Hayden Glemo got out of a bases-loaded jam. And the crowd will be on its feet for the 7th inning stretch. What will the San Diego Chicken bring to the table in the 7th inning for the Bees? No runs. 1 hit. A walk. No Colonel errors. And the Bees leave the bases loaded. They've left 7 men on. 7th inning stretch time. The new Veterans Memorial Stadium. The most boisterous and fun-loving crowd we've had all season. As we go to the home half of the 7th, a new pitcher will take the hill for Burlington. The Kernels lead the Bees by 1, 3-2.
This is an emergency. This isn't. Say it's an evening or a weekend, and you have a, or perhaps even a, you don't need, but you'd rather not, for your doctor's office to open. That's when it's time to visit a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic. Just walk in, limp in, or even crawl in. And a Mercy Care physician will help you feel better, faster. There's a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic near you. Mercy Care North on Collins Road Northeast, and a new Mercy Care South on Edgewood Road Southwest. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., and weekends 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So, next time you have, visit a Mercy Care Urgent Care Clinic in your neighborhood.
responsibly.
Colonel Hall of Famer and legendary broadcaster Bob Brooks stopped by, and boy, we've been so enraptured with this game and the San Diego Chicken, Scott, and we'll tell the fans about Steve Chamberlain in a moment, but Bob had a very good question.
Yeah, he did.
How's the River Run vote going? And Bev Taylor, our in-studio engineer, says early returns are not promising in terms of a favorable outcome. Here's a high pop-up on top of the grandstand roof off the bat of Jake Mathis. Colt Griffin, Scott, how did he fare in his 13th start of the year?
He fared fairly well. A lot better than he has last couple of outings. 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, walked 3, and struck out 2, gave up 3 runs.
Jake Mathis pops one foul off to the left. Jake is 1 for 2 tonight. He's leading off against a right-hander who pitched in Sunday's B win here, 6-3, Steve Chamberlain. Steve went 2 innings on Sunday, gave the Kernels 1 run on 1 hit, struck out 1, and walked 1.
2 of those runs were earned, by the way.
2 were earned off Colt. The 0-2 from Chamberlain. Swing and a miss. Jake Mathis chased one low and away, 1 out in the 7th, 3-2 Kernels. Well, however River Run turns out, we'll have to live with the voice of the voters, and if it doesn't pass this time, that's not to say that something good can't develop along our river. That was the whole intent of River Run, to get something good going down on the river, and if the voters didn't want it, then maybe we'll do it in a more piecemeal or gradual approach. And boy, I've been so proud of this community for stepping to the plate on the schools, the new Veterans Memorial Stadium, the pools. We've gotten a lot of great things done, Scott.
Certainly have.
The 1-0 to Brownie has hit a mile-high foul. That will reach the club section, or the plaza section, rather, down the right field line. 1-1 to Matt. Well, Scott, you're hoping for 3,200 tonight?
Yeah, we'll play attendance guess here.
Any word on the attendance, Allison? Okay.
3,200. I'm going to say 3,200. What are you going to put in the pool, John?
Oh, boy. I'll go a tad higher at 33-30.
All right. 33-30. I'm going to write that down.
Scott at 3,200. The 1-1 to Matt. Ground ball to short, a worm burner. Sanchez has been perfect all night. He continues that string as he fires to first to get Matt Brown for the second out of the Colonel 7th inning. Steve Chamberlain is a 6'3" right-hander. He went to Treasure Valley in Ontario, Oregon. That's a community college. Then he went to the University of Portland. Not Portland State. That's where Neil Lomax went.
Yeah, Neil Lomax. I was just going to say, the most famous alum of Portland State, former quarterback for the Big Red.
The St. Louis Football Cardinals.
St. Louis Football Cardinals. That's going back a ways. Now my kids don't know what St. Louis Cardinal football was.
Well, that might be a good thing.
That might be a good thing. Terry Metcalf, or no, Eric? Yeah, Terry Metcalf.
What a multi-purpose back he was. Kick returner. Swing and a miss by Cosby. 1-1 to Quan.
Mel Gray, Roger Worley.
Well, now you're talking about the 2 glory years.
Yeah.
They had 2 great years with Don Coryell, 74 and 75. They made the playoffs, lost to the Vikes in 74. The Rams beat them in 75.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. A pitch swatted foul off to the left, and Quan in the hole 1-2. Jim Otis was the fullback. Jackie Smith was the tight end. And Roger Worley did recently get into the Hall of Fame in Canton, didn't he, Scott? He should have.
I would have to check on that. I'm not sure he did or not.
He sure should have, as Dan Deerdorf, his teammate.
Dan Deerdorf is in the Hall of Fame.
Ball 2 just missed from Chamberlain. On Sunday, Steve pitched 2 innings. Steve Chamberlain, wearing a long-sleeve royal blue sweatshirt underneath his gray B Road uniform, the Kernels in their white homes. This is our 34th home game of the year. Swing and a tip foul into the catcher's mitt. Quan Cosby fans, the Kernels go in order for just the second time tonight at the hands of the relief pitcher Steve Chamberlain. After 7, the Kernels lead Burlington 3-2.
We got a sweet deal for you. A Kernels sweet deal, that is. The Zone ESPN Radio 1600 AM wants to take you to a Cedar Rapids Kernels game, VIP style.
You and a friend will enjoy all the action of a Kernels game in first-class style from the luxury of the Zone's VIP suite. And it's easy to win. Register today at Gary's Auto, Troy Mills, and the Kernels Bin Ritter Diamond Shop. Or get an official entry form online at thezone1600.com. On June 9th, we'll pick 6 winners during game day with Scott Unash. The lucky winners and their guests will be our guests for an unbeatable night of baseball. Cedar Rapids Kernels baseball. VIP style with all the trimmings. We're talking food and beverages, baby! Register now at these fine Zone sponsors, Gary's Auto, Troy Mills, and the Kernels Bin Ritter Diamond Shop. And at thezone1600.com. You can do it! The Cedar Rapids Kernels Sweet Deals with all the trimmings. Brought to you by The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Get in the zone.
Cedar Rapids Golf. Serving your needs to a T.
Let Cedar Rapids Municipal Golf show you how much they glove you. All through June, that old glove you're wearing is worth $2 off any new regular price one you buy from the Jones, Twin Pines, or Ellis golf shops. Choose from Nike, FootJoy, Wilson, and Precept. Men's, women's, and kids' golf gloves, leather or all weather. Get $2 off when you trade in anytime in June.
Keeping you on the course. We're Cedar Rapids Golf. Serving your needs to a T.
Well, the chicken has, I think, listen to the crowd for the chicken from San Diego. Scott, they're on their feet.
They love the chicken.
Wow. He's in a tuxedo, and he's taking a curtain call.
It just proves that anyone can look good in a tuxedo. Even a chicken.
Oh, brother Scott. Even a chicken. Hayden Glimo delivers, and the first pitch is grounded to third. Matt Brown throws in time to get the cleanup batter. Damaso Espino. Ooh, that's a big first out here in the top of the 8th inning. The Kernels have their Midwest League All-Star closer Rich Thompson up in their right field bullpen. I'm surprised Espino swung at the first pitch and he grounded out to Matt Brown for the first out of the 8th inning.
Yeah, we've had a lot of chicken eggs up there in the scoreboard. We haven't had tally since back in the first third of this ball game.
Scott, you're right. The Kernels scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second. The Bees answered with their 2 runs in the game in the third, and all chicken eggs since. 3-2 Kernels. Ka'ahui takes ball 1. The Hawaiian takes ball 2 low as Rich Thompson warms up in the Kernel bullpen.
No, normally we say goose eggs, but it's chicken eggs.
It's got to be tonight, right?
Yeah.
You're tuned to the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The 2-0 to Ka'ahui is outside. For some reason, Hayden has more trouble with left-handed batters than right-handed batters. Scott, some guys are just like that.
You see a lot more right-handed batters, obviously, getting to this stage. But, yeah, it's kind of a mystery. Some guys are like that.
They may turn Ka'ahui loose. No, he took one high, ball 4, and the tying runs at first on a 4-pitch walk to a left-handed batter. Now the question becomes, you hate to bring in Thompson this early after he's come off a bout of the flu. You just hate to bring him in this early.
Boy, Todd Klaus just takes the cap off, takes a look down, and gonna stick with Hayden, it looks like.
Rich Thompson did not even suit up in Grand Rapids. He was so weak from a terrible influenza virus. A throw to first, and Ka'ahui is back safely.
Now I give this to you, John. I think it was the Chicago Tribune yesterday. Reported that for the upcoming All-Star game, for the first time since I can remember, the players are all going to wear the same type of uniform.
Well, now, Scott, I'm against that.
I am too.
What are they doing? They're trying to make it a unified. They're trying to force the players to play for their team, which they've already done by that ridiculous World Series ruling. 0-1 to Tim Friend as Hayden delivers ball 1 low. That has been a pass now. That doesn't distinguish. That's what made the All-Star game great, to see the guy wearing the uniform of his team.
Yeah, and you know they're going to be a wonderful-looking uniform. Some of those batting practice shirts they've had over the years have been very, very unusual.
That got passed, huh?
Apparently, yeah.
Well, that's another boneheaded move by the major leagues. Boy, do those guys ever think of the fans?
Not really.
I don't believe that. So there won't be the guys wearing their individual uniforms in the All-Star game. The 1-1 to the right-handed batter is low and in, ball 2. Boy, you're right, Scott. Hayden is just nibbling a little bit too much. At some point, he's got to make a pitch, not down the middle of the plate, but he's got to make a pitch that a guy can at least think about swinging at.
And I think if Tim Frent gets on, we're going to see Chopper.
Maybe a double play's on the horizon. Is the runner going? No. Strike 2 call. Now that was a big league pitch by Hayden Glemo, a fastball on the outside corner at the knees. We're in the top of the 8th. The Kernels clinging to a 3-2 lead. Neither team has scored since, as Scott noted, the first third of the game. Hayden is set. The 2-2. Swing and a miss! A slow curveball down and in! And he really made Frent look bad, Scott.
Yeah, he did. That ball, I don't think Frent could have hit that thing with a boat oar. As that ball, tell you, if he didn't swing at that and get his body out of the way, that, I think, had a shot of hitting him.
Yeah, it was down and in.
Here comes Eric Bennett. Come out to talk to Hayden Glemo a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, Scott, if that is the decision, if the All-Star players wear an American League uniform and a National League uniform, I think that's a very disheartening move by Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I'm sure that's the whole unifying thing of playing for your league
But it's false. I mean,
it is. I'm with you. I don't like the whole the winning side gets the home field advantage.
You know, George Spelius and I talked about it from Beloit, and I suggested going back to a 2-game format. George didn't think that was very practical to have. Remember in the late 50s and 60s?
For a few years they did try that.
And I have another possible solution. Swing and a miss. Hayden Glemo, slower, and slowest, has these B batters way out in front. Angel Sanchez is 1 for 3 tonight. Right-handed hitting shortstop, lean, lanky, and highly dangerous at the plate with a .238 average, a homer, 15 RBIs. He pops one up. We should be out of the inning. Mathis under it. Weed calls him off in shallow right. BJ has it to end the inning. Angel Sanchez has popped up to shallow right where the second baseman Weed moved back and made the catch. What a great inning and a third of relief from Hayden Glemo. No runs for Burlington in the 8th inning. No hits, a walk. There were no Kernel errors. The Bees leave a runner. They've stranded 8. For some insurance. After 7.5 innings, after 7.5 innings, the Kernels 3, Burlington 2.
It's one of those rituals of summer, mowing the yard. And when you're done, what do you do with the clippings? Well, your friends at Cedar Rapids Solid Waste and Recycling encourage you to leave those clippings on your lawn. This practice is called grass cycling. And it reduces your lawn's fertilizer needs because those clippings contain nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Grass cycling also helps crowd out weeds and build a healthier lawn. When you leave those clippings on your lawn, you reduce waste and save landfill space.
Let's see if B.J. Weed tries to lay a bunt down. Thanks to Bev Taylor, our in-studio engineer, we do have a final tally on River Run as BJ taps one foul off the shin guard of the catcher, strike one. And, Scott, it was a well-fought campaign by both sides, and the Nays had it tonight by just a little bit.
3,008.
Still pretty close.
Yeah.
17,000. Over 17,000 said yes, and just over 20,000 voted no for River Run. A ground ball, a diving stab at third by Espino. Up to his feet, he throws to get Weed. Oh, Damaso Espino just took a leadoff single in the 8th inning away from B.J. Weed.
Double-barreled action going on in the Burlington bullpen. And it is two right-handers, actually.
And one of them is a huge, tall right-hander, and that is Andres De La Cruz. Man, that guy looks like a monster out there. Ball one is high to Cayaspo. The other right-hander, who's just started to warm up as well, is Trey McGill. It's a strike to Cayaspo. What do you think of the physique of De La Cruz, Scott?
He reminds me of somebody. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
A pop foul off to the left by Alberto. Down below it goes, and a great catch by a teenage girl. I think she's surprised. She's holding it up, and all she has to do to get a lifetime honorary Colonel contract and a free spaghetti dinner at Zio Giano's is show it. Here's a drive into the right field corner. Hooking. Foul as it disappeared beyond the plaza section.
Maybe a little bit skinnier Lee Smith.
Yeah.
With a little bit more leg kick.
That guy's arms come down to his knees. De La Cruz warming up in the B bullpen.
Royals have gone in their minor leagues to a lot of Dominicans in their pitching staff.
Alberto, the league's leading hitter, has a triple tonight. He was thrown out on an electrifying play at the plate, trying to stretch a triple in the 5th inning into an inside-the-park home run, and he narrowly missed doing it. Ball too low from Steve Chamberlain to Cayaspo. 1 out in the 8th, 3-2 Kernels. Alberto takes ball 3 low. Rich Thompson is likely to work the top of the 9th inning. What will the score be? Right now, 3-2 Kernels.
I think Will Robinson got that deflection. Took a little time there.
Here's the payoff pitch from Chamberlain. Wrap to first, pass first, could be a triple for Cayaspo. He's racing to second, and he's going to stop there with a 1-out double. The league's leading hitter has the Colonel 8th hit of the game, his second extra base hit of the night. Alberto cranked it fair past first baseman Dave Jensen down the right field line. Bernard Stevens must have done a great job digging it out because Alberto stopped at second.
I'll tell you, the first baseman Dave Jensen playing way off the line for the left-handed hitting Cayaspo. Alberto didn't hit that real hard, John. He just happened to hit it right down the first base line.
No, he didn't hit it hard at all, Scott. Greg Porter hits one to left, and right in his tracks, Tim Friend doesn't have to move a step. First pitch swinging, Greg Porter lofted one into left for the second out of the inning.
Boy, you'd like to get this run home to get a 2-run lead going into the top of the 9th inning just to give yourself a little bit more breathing room.
Well, that's just it, Scott. I've told the story before as an 8-year-old playing Little League for the first time. One of the kids' grandparents kept saying, let's get some insurance, guys. I didn't know what insurance was at age 8, but he explained that it was an extra run to provide some cushion in the event of an unexpected bad turn of events. Caleb Mayer will try to give the Kernels that insurance with Cayaspo at second. Ball one is high to Caleb. 3 RBIs three hits last night, including a grand slam. Boy, I can't wait to get the attendance tonight. It's got to be big, Scott, or they'd have given it to us by now. They're probably
still counting.
Still counting. Ooh, a slider is a strike called. 1-1 to Caleb. Again, River Run has been put on the back burner for the time being. It did not pass tonight. It lost by about 3,000 votes. The 1-1 to Caleb Mayer. A curve, it's a strike, and Caleb's in the hole, 1-2. Boy, it's tough to turn those millions away from the state, isn't it, Scott? That's tough.
That's tough.
Wow. The 1-2 from the right-hander. Caleb grounds one to the right side. Donnie Murphy gobbles it up and flips to first to retire Caleb Mayer. The Kernels threaten with a one-out double in the bottom of the 8th, but can't get that guy home. And we go to the 9th. In the Kernel 8th inning, no runs. One hit, a one-out double by Kayaspo. There were no B errors. The Kernels leave just their 5th man stranded on the evening. We go to the top of the 9th inning. The Kernels are 3 outs away, 3 tough outs away from snapping a 5-game losing skid. Chopper has come on. We'll tell you about him when we resume after 8, Kernels 3, Burlington 2.
Nature provides a built-in mechanism for animals to get ready for their future. Animals start hoarding food in the early autumn, knowing it will be scarce during the winter. We don't seem to have that same kind of savvy. Pekin Insurance Agent Teresa Brunsheen at Family Insurance Center in Monticello can help you plan ahead. Teresa can help you make sure you have the right insurance coverages for your particular needs. Nature's message is clear. Prepare. See Teresa Brunsheen, your Pekin Insurance Agent in Monticello at Family Insurance Center.
Okay, so I'm dropping my daughter off at daycare, and as I'm walking out, I see myself in the double door. Uh-oh is right. My hair looks terrible. My ends are all scraggly, and my roots. Did you see my roots? I can't believe I've been walking around like this.
Have you tried Cost Cutters?
Oh, I'd love to get my hair done, but who has the time? With work and the kids, I barely have time to find matching socks, let alone time for my hair. Besides, I need the works.
Just go to Cost Cutters. They'll have you in and out looking great in no time.
Yeah?
Yeah. At Cost Cutters, the stylist will keep you looking great with a new cut, some color, even highlights. Check out mine.
Oh, so Cost Cutters is your secret.
Yep. I even get my favorite products there. You know, shampoo, conditioner.
That's it. I'm going to Cost Cutters.
Right now?
My roots, thank you.
There are a dozen Cost Cutters here in our area, each offering a relaxed, convenient hair care experience with no appointments and no hassles. Cost Cutters makes things easy and affordable with professional stylists who care about you. Cost Cutters, live your life. We always have time for your hair.
For the fabulous, famous San Diego Chicken and the Kernels and Bees, 2,824. A U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen. Brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Visit a U.S. Cellular store or call U.S. Cellular at 1-888-BUY-USCC. U.S. Cellular. We connect with you. Kernel All-Star right-hander Rich Thompson takes over. He'll try to save it for Ronnie Ray. The first pitch is pop foul off to the left, and thanks to Mike Kuhlbeck, Scott, we know that Rich Thompson has been something this year.
He's allowed only 3 runs in his 23 appearances, which covers 29 in a third innings pitched. Only 15 hits, and he struck out 42. Just amazing numbers.
A slider, strike 2 called from Chopper to Dave Jensen. Scott Hayden Glemo, what a job as the setup man.
Certainly did. 1 1/3 innings, hitless baseball, walked 2, struck out 1.
The 0-2. Grounded to short. Kayaspo has it. On to first. 1 out in the 9th. 1 out in the 9th inning as Dave Jensen grounded one to the All-Star playing shortstop tonight. All-Star second baseman Alberto Kayaspo. Rich Thompson is disposed of the leading lady, as Wally Krause, our president, used to like to call the leadoff man in any inning. That all-important leading lady. Bernard Stevens is the batter.
And this Rich Thompson has just got major league stuff.
A curve low to the left-handed batter, Bernard Stevens. Rich Thompson named the Midwest League All-Star to replace Kernel's 6-game winner, Kevin Jensen. Laid on a fastball and popping one foul off to the left is Stevens.
He breaks bats, can put it on the inside part of the plate, outside part of the plate. Riding fastball, great slider with velocity.
To cap all that off, he's fiercely competitive. Ooh, a slider just missed low, ball 2 to Stevens. Rich last worked Sunday here at home in his Kernel 6-3 loss. He pitched a quiet, scoreless 8th inning, his first trip to the hill after a week suffering from the flu. A broken back grounder into first. 3 steps from the bag. Jake has it. Steps on first. For the out. Bernard Stevens broke his bat and wraps out to first. The Kernels have played errorless ball tonight and lead it 3-2 in the top of the 9th inning before a famous San Diego Chicken crowd of 2,824. Now, if you're the Bees, Scott, do you have Stocker try to bunt his way on? I do.
Oh, Matt Brown way back at third base.
I try to lay one down if I'm Mel Stocker. He's not. Ball 1 is low. This crowd has come alive again as they're hoping the Kernels can turn back the Bees for the first time in this series before the off day tomorrow.
And Rich Thompson breaks bats. Did we mention that?
You just did. Here's a bouncer to second. Weed has it. On to first. That's a Colonel win. 3-2. And the crowd loves it. A 1-2-3 inning for Chopper. He saves it for Ronnie Ray. 1-2-3, nothing across. It's a relieved and joyous bunch of Kernels running out of the first base dugout to high-five each other. The Kernels had finally beaten Burlington, and it took great pitching and stellar defense to do it. 3-2 in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Burlington is retired in order. Thompson saves it for Ronnie Ray. 3-2 Kernels. Totals, highlights, more next on the Colonel Curtain Call.
The new Veterans Memorial Stadium is among the most awe-inspiring attractions in our great community. The most common remark made by first-time visitors to our new ballpark is simply, wow! The dazzling giant scoreboard, the roomy seats, the spacious concourse, and yes, the numerous women's restrooms all evoke that wow reaction. The most alluring element of all, though, is that perfectly nurtured, lush, green field that composes the diamond. Thanks to Peck's Flower Garden and Landscaping, the aura and magic of the Field of Green in the new stadium can be replicated in your very own yard. That's right, the experts at Peck's are teaming up with the renowned Colonel Grounds crew to award one of you with a Field of Green lawn makeover this spring. Just stop into the Garden Center at Peck's to enter. The Peck's Field of Green dream could be yours. Register this spring in the Garden Center at Peck's, corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Roads Northeast.
The ability to read. Nothing's more important in predicting the future success of a child. Thanks to the generous, ongoing support of Toyota Financial Services, Colonel players visited a record 25 schools last spring to encourage children to read, with a series of dazzling rewards from Toyota Financial Services serving as incentives. An all-time high, 1,451 girls and boys read last summer. The Colonels salute Toyota Financial Services.
Time for the Colonel's Curtain Call, right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM. With a recap of all the action, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, plus a look ahead to the next Colonel's game, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonels, the one, the only John Rogers, here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 AM.
Break a 5-game losing streak and do so before a happy crowd of 2,824. The San Diego Chicken was fantastic. He lived up to his billing and more, entertaining throughout and keeping this crowd absolutely mesmerized. This game typified what good baseball is all about, in that both teams fought hard and the pitching was at a premium. All the runs were scored in the first third of the game, and to put a cap on the scoring and highlights of this game, here's KCRG's Programming and Sports Director, Scott Unash.
Well, all the scoring in this one, John, was done in the first 3 innings. After a 1-2-3 first inning by Colonel starter Ronnie Ray, the Colonels got the lead that they would never relinquish in the bottom of the first inning. After a Quan Cosby ground out to the mound, B.J. Weed singled to center against the starter, number 1 draft choice from 2001 for the Royals, Colt Griffin. Weed singled to center. Alberto Callaspo walked, putting runners on at first and second. Greg Porter came through with a solid shot up the middle for an RBI single. That made it 1-0 Colonels. Colonels got 2 more in the bottom half of the second inning. Jared Abruzzo led it off with a home run on the first pitch at the bottom of the second. A rope over the right field fence and off the Tri-Vision signs, making it 2-0 Colonels. Alex Dvorsky walked. Jeff Mathis then singled to center. Dvorsky going to second. Matt Brown hit into an incredible 6-4-3 double play turned by Angel Sanchez at short, putting Dvorsky over at third. And then Alex came home on the back end of a double steal attempt. Quan Cosby took off for second. The throw from the catcher, Tupman, was in the dirt. He was charged with an error. Alex Dvorsky came home to roost, and it was 3-0 in favor of the Kernels. Burlington got their 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning. After Dave Jensen flied out, Bernard Stevens, who had 2 hits tonight, singled to center. He stole second base. Then it was Mel Stocker walking, putting runners on at first and second. Matt Tupman then flew out. We thought we were going to get out of it cheaply enough, but then Donnie Murphy came through with a 2 RBI double to left center field just over the head of Caleb Mayer. The shot went, and Murphy with RBIs 43 and 44 made it 3-2. But then the Kernels relied on Ronnie Ray, who went 6 2/3 innings, giving up only 2 runs and 7 hits while striking out 4. He left with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Hayden Glemo came in, got the final out of that inning after walking Matt Tupman, pitched a scoreless 8th, and then Chopper, Rich Thompson, came in and threw a 1-2-3 9th. Got a couple of, all 3 ground balls, including a broken back ground ball, to notch his 5th save as the Kernels won it 3-2. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors. 5 left on for the Kernels as we break a 5-game losing streak. Burlington with 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and the Bees left 8. Ronnie Ray has pitched very well this year. Pitched well again tonight, 6 2/3 of 2-run baseball. He gets the win to raise his record to 2-3. It was Colt Griffin taking the loss. He's now 2-7, and Rich Thompson picking up his 5th save. Game played in 2 hours and 16 minutes in front of a crowd of 2,824 here tonight on a beautiful night for baseball here at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
It sure was, Scott. Beautiful on all fronts. Boy, you said it about Ronnie Ray. He's very competitive and a bulldog attitude for a 19-year-old. And what a job by Hayden Glemo, and I can't emphasize enough how important it was for Hayden to set things up. He came in under fire and loaded the bases in the 7th inning, but got the Bees' best player, Donnie Murphy, to ground out to second with the bases loaded in the 7th. And Hayden certainly deserves a big amount of recognition tonight. That's our recap of the scoring on the Colonel Curtain Call. We'll take a timeout and return and enjoy our Colonel Plays of the Game next.
Good day, everyone. Scott Unash joining you, and glad you're with us in the zone. Let's take a look at your upcoming sports lineup. Take a look at Wednesday. We've got live flag-to-flag coverage of a special night of Hawkeye Downs Racing and the big event, the 31st annual Keith Fleck Miller 100. We'll have it for you from Hawkeye Downs along with the other regular classes. Then on Thursday, it's back to Colonel Baseball. Colonels go to Community Field in Burlington to take on the Bees. Thursday night, 6:40 is your dugout interview time. Same 2 teams go at it on Friday the 13th. Colonels at Burlington, again at 6:40. No Hawkeye Downs Racing on this Friday night. We can get started on Saturday with Coach's Corner at 9, and then Saturday night, Colonels at Burlington to take on the Bees. 6:40 is your pregame right here on the Zone, ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG.
The Colonel Curtain Call, and it's now time to enjoy the Colonel Plays of the Game in this Colonel 3-2 win over Burlington. Scott Unash just verbally described those first 3 innings, and that's where all of our Colonel Plays of the Game come from. With 2 on and 1 out in the first inning and Colt Griffin on the hill, Greg Porter had a chance to put the Colonels ahead. Porter hits one up the middle, almost took the head off of Colt Griffin. They're going to wave B.J. home. He scores! 1-0 Colonels! On Greg Porter's 6th RBI in 12 games as a Colonel. In the second inning, the Bees, top of the second, they got a leadoff walk from Damaso Espino, their cleanup batter. With 1 out, Tim Friend made a bid to tie the game. Friend jackhammers one into left. It might skip by Caleb. Nope, he backhands it well. The throw to third, and the runner is out! You could hear the crowd's reaction as Caleb Mayer made a good play to his right to cut off a base hit into left by Tim Friend, and then his throw to third baseman Matt Brown cut down the potential tying run. Damaso Espino at third. The play went Mayer to Brown. The Kernels led 1-0 going into the bottom of the second inning. Jared Abruzzo had 3 hits last night in Burlington. Jared led off against Colt Griffin. Jared Abruzzo had 3 hits last night to raise his average to .260. Jared, a switch hitter, rips one deep to right. It may go. Adios! And Scott, it took about a second and a half to get out of here. Number 6 for Jared.
That's a sharp line drive, and you're right, that took about 1.2 seconds.
To get out of the ballpark. Jared Abruzzo homering to give the Kernels a 2-0 lead in the second inning. In the top of the third inning with the score 2-0, the Bees had 2 on and 2 out for Matt Tupman, and they had a chance to tie the game or to come within a run. Here's what happened. Here's a drive into left center. I don't know if Quan can get it. He does! With a fantastic catch. A runner tags and goes to third. Cosby electrified the crowd. He took 2 runs away from Burlington on the best catch of the year in deep left center. I can't believe he tracked it down. Quan did it, though. And that was our 4th Kernel play of the game. Our final Kernel play of the game took place in the bottom of the third inning with 2 on at the corners and 2 out. The Kernels employed speed and put pressure on the defense.
Yes.
There goes Quan, a pitch low, the throw to second. Cosby steals it. Here comes the runner home. He is safe! Hey, Alex Dvorsky diced across the plate. A double steal. Alex Dvorsky on the back end of a double steal made it 3-0 Kernels. Those are our Kernel plays of the game and a Kernel 3-2 victory over the Bees before a big crowd to see baseball and the San Diego Chicken. A break on the Kernel Curtain Call. Coming up next, Scott Unash, all the scores, interleague play, State Farm Major League Scoreboard. Scott will have it in a minute.
Everyone deserves a great insurance agent, not just any insurance agent. Paul Draper, your Pekin insurance agent at Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, has the experience and knowledge to provide you with top-notch insurance coverages. Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion has been insuring individuals like you for over 100 years. Dependable protection from Pekin insurance agent Paul Draper at Sheets Forest Draper Insurance in Marion, an agency you know and trust.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
John Rogers back with you on the Kernel Curtain Call. The Kernels edged the Bees 3-2 before a big crowd on a lovely, lovely Tuesday evening. Interleague play is continuing on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, and thanks to State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, and Lanny Peterson, we have a lot of scores. Scott, some are final.
Yeah, a lot of them are final. They switched venues to the American League parks now after being in the National League last week. Toronto is helping somebody out with the 13th run pool here tonight. They're in the 8th inning, leading Pittsburgh 13-7. Jays did miss that extra point, however, after the second touchdown. Cardinals and the Red Sox. How about that for a series? And right now at Fenway, it's the Cardinals leading Boston 7-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. When was the last time the Cardinals and the Red Sox played?
I'm glad you asked. I was
67?
Yes! Scott, I was a 4th grader, and Mrs. Stewart let us bring in a black and white TV, or she had one at school, and she let us watch the World Series. Guys like Rico Petrocelli, Yaz, of course, won the Triple Crown that year, but I'll tell you, when your 4th grade teacher lets you watch the World Series, remember...
Tells you how good a baseball town St. Louis is.
Well, that too. But, but it was in black and white, and they had... Those were the days where you could advertise, of all things, tobacco and cigarettes on the television, and so I still remember the theme of the Winston... you can take Salem out of the country, but you can't take the country out of Salem. You know, you remember those. Advertising doesn't work. Right.
But yeah, you probably just broke some law there, John.
No. You're right, Scott. 67 at Fenway Park.
So that's a good one. But you don't hear about that one. All we heard was the Yankees and the Cubs. Cubs beat Baltimore 4-0 tonight at Camden Yards. Cleveland got the best of San Diego 8-5. They have not played before, by the way, the Indians and the Padres. The Yankees beat Houston 5-3, so the Cubs and the Astros now in a flat-footed tie. The Cardinals will be only one out if they hold on to that win at Fenway Park. Bottom of the ninth, Los Angeles and Detroit 1-1 at Comerica. At Tampa, it's Cincinnati leading Tampa 4-2. Lou Piniella with some ties to Cincinnati, obviously. That one in the bottom of the eighth inning. Seventh inning, Florida leading Milwaukee 5-1. It is Colorado leading Minnesota. That one in the bottom of the eighth inning. And it is a 8-0 score? Is that an 8? I don't know. Well, they're shutting out the Twins.
Here,
5-0?
Let's see if you can check your work there.
5.
Okay.
It's a 5. All right, 5-0 Rockies leading the Twins. Texas stomping on the Mets, bottom of the fifth inning at the ballpark in Arlington, 8-5. At Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, they must have had a rain delay because they're only in the bottom of the first inning. It is Arizona on top of the Royals, who are going to go under 500 if they lose tonight, 2-0. White Sox and the Giants at Comiskey Park, bottom of the seventh. That one is at 2-2. Montreal at Seattle coming up right now, as a matter of fact. Philadelphia will be at Anaheim to take on the Angels, and Atlanta will be at Oakland. Boy, that'll be a good game right there. All three of those games coming up later on the West Coast.
Well, Scott, thanks for that complete look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, brought to us by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, Lanny Peterson, and Gary Shubat. I bet all four of them were here tonight to enjoy the famous San Diego chicken. I think my favorite one, Scott, was when the bees, my favorite vignette between innings is when the bees came out with that poor fellow that had been picked on all night by the San Diego chicken. He had a net breaks, and two guys came out with bats, and they really showed the chicken who was boss.
Well, I liked when the chicken got pelted by the water balloons.
Okay, that was pretty good,
That
too.
was good.
Yep.
It was all good, though.
The tuxedo.
Was all very good.
Yeah, it was, including the little chickadees who had a little bit of premature potty training, I think. Boy, the crowd just loved it, didn't they?
They sure did, and that's what it's all about.
Well, Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate you between breaks on the Colonel Curtin call inviting me to the races tomorrow. I hope I can make it. What time will you have the races?
We'll have it about 7:20 tomorrow, and they'll get started at 7:30, so we'll have a little pregame at about 7:20 tomorrow evening.
Okay, Scott.
Pre-race, I guess I should say. I'm used to games.
Well, that's
so
all right.
Pre-race.
Well, that does it. A beautiful night for baseball. The Kernels finally break the spell the Bees had on us. They had their way with us the first three games of this series. Todd Klaus is celebrating with his cute little 2-year-old boy, Trey, down below. And, boy, I'm so happy for the Midwest League Manager of the Year last year, Todd. He has had these guys working so hard, Scott. And that's what I wanted to talk to Quan with on the dugout interview. These guys will not stop working. They're not going to give up.
No, and they're looking forward to the second half. Todd said if he can get these guys, very candidly said before the season, if these guys play 500 baseball in the first half, he's going to be satisfied. And then they make a run in the second half.
It looks like Mike Staub is pointing something. Is that Mike Staub? I'm not sure who that is.
He's got a Cub hat.
Okay. I don't know. I couldn't tell if that was Mike Staub or who it was, a character down below saying that he's a Cub fan. Well, I guess it wasn't as great a night as we thought. No, just kidding.
Hey, you got the Legion against you now, buddy.
Okay.
Not only they know you're a Cardinal fan, but now you're on the Cubs.
Oh, well, Scott, thanks for being part of the broadcast. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did. It was a good time.
Deb Williams, or Deb Taylor.
Bev Taylor.
I am really losing it here. Bev Taylor, our in-studio engineer. Bev, I know we can expect a phone call. I've been mixing you and Deb up all spring and summer. Bev Taylor, our in-studio engineer. Bev, thanks for all of your great help. 3-2 Kernels, and a day off tomorrow. We'll greet you from Community Field at 6:40 for the dugout interview Thursday night. For Scott Unash, John Rogers wishing you a great Tuesday evening from the new Veterans Memorial Stadium where the Kernels shaded the Bees 3-2.
What can I help you with here at Big Time Motors?
Well, I'm looking for a used car. I like this one. What's the price?
Listen, lady, I don't sell prices. I sell cars. But I guess if you must know, it's this.
Wow, that's $2,000 more than the one low price on the exact same car at Randy Keel Honda. And I didn't even have to ask them. Randy Keel has the prices posted for every car on their lot.
Well, we've got the best service department to stand behind our vehicles.
Really? Randy Keel showed me they're number one in service and sales customer satisfaction. How do you know yours is the best?
My manager told me.
Thanks, but I think I'm going back to Randy Keel Honda to get the best price and the best service.
But I can throw in a free air freshener to put over the rearview mirror.
Nice try.
Randy Keel Honda understands what you need when you're looking for a new or used car. They post their prices clearly, so you don't have to guess, and they'll never pressure you. That's why they're number one in service and sales customer satisfaction. And they just won the President's Award from American Honda. Come find out for yourself. Randy Keel Honda is on Center Point Road in Cedar Rapids, or you can visit them at randykeel.com.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming, already in progress.